Okay. Thank you.
No.
We'll give it another minute. We're actually letting folks in via Zoom who are joining from Zoom, so give us another minute or two. Shows up on there twice.
That's our ghost.
She's in twice.
Could be.
Barbara Ruler.
How'd she get on twice?
I don't know.
Maybe she double clicked on it. Oh, I think it should be on once on the computer. Okay, is everybody in? Yep. Okay, hopefully the folks online could hear us. Wanted to start tonight's Board of Directors meeting for Playa del Sol, Tuesday, September 30th, 2025 at 7 p.m. via the Ocean Lounge as well as Zoom as a hybrid. Once again, as a reminder, the board meetings are now recorded for the statutes, considering that it is a hybrid meeting. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. Barbara, if you could please do roll call.
Yes. Roseanne Danaforte,
Here.
Mark Jara,
Present.
Eski Barimi,
Present.
Bill Valerio,
Present.
Alex McCallis,
Yeah.
Denise DeLuise.
Yep.
Barbara Savali, here.
Okay, we have the full board. And from First Services, we have Isabella and Scott as well here at the meeting. Scott, can you please confirm that proof of notice has been provided as per Florida statutes?
Yes, I confirm that the notice of the board meeting was posted at least 48 hours prior to today's scheduled meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as noted?
Motion?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of 8/19/2025 Board of Directors meeting as noted and documented here?
Have a motion?
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving along with regards to reports. We'll start with the President's report for September board meeting, September 30th. Once again, I'd like to begin by thanking everyone for their continued support. As Yom Kippur begins tomorrow evening, October 1st, I, as well as the board, want to extend our wishes for a meaningful and peaceful observance to those observing. I did also want to note that it looks like there is a finance committee meeting scheduled for Thursday. There was an ask to see if we could look to reschedule. Scott's going to be working with the finance board committee chair, Mike, to see if it could be rescheduled in observance of the ask. But did want to note that that's a moving target right now. On the heels of concrete restoration project, our community has moved right into elevator modernization, as we know. And soon we will transition again to more behind the scenes capital projects that are critical to the building's future. This has been a demanding cycle of work, but it reflects the board's commitment to addressing major needs and planning responsibility for what comes next. From an elevator modernization perspective, the TKE elevator project continues with punch list efforts underway on the main building elevators and active work now moving onto the wings. While we know the progress and process has felt long, we're finally seeing or starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. A crane is scheduled for Wednesday, October 22nd to remove old elevator materials, and project plans have been posted in the mailroom for transparency and visibility. At this point, we remain on track for an anticipated December completion. The project has been fluid, but we are eager to close this chapter, and it certainly can't come soon enough. Upcoming capital projects. While visible may not yet be apparent, planning continues behind the scenes. Our project team is finalizing bids across several critical areas: BDA system, ELSS sprinklers, and preparations for both the cooling towers and roof replacement. The board remains focused on aligning these efforts with careful planning of expenses and costs to ensure long-term value to the association. I want to say a special thanks to the Finance Committee led by Mike Sisto, as well as Heskey, our treasurer, for their continued diligence. Staffing and operations. You may have already met our new internal First Services leadership additions, Jorge or George Aparicio, Operations Manager, and Romney Alvarez, Chief Building Engineer. These appointments were the result of thoughtful review and assessment in conjunction with First Services. The board determined that our security, operations, and management functions required adding depth and stronger leadership. These hires position us to better manage our aging building and prepare for the large-scale capital projects ahead. Looking ahead, many of you have noted your appreciation for the transition to First Services and the visible changes underway. It was a significant adjustment, but we're seeing the benefits come to fruition. While much of the work happens behind the scenes, it's always rewarding to see Scott's monthly insights, which we would expect to see today as well, complete with pictures that keep the broader association informed and even provide some initial insights on the new hires from a leadership perspective with regards to security and maintenance. In closing, I'd like to once again thank you for your continued support, patience, and engagement. Together, we're making steady progress towards securing the future of our building and our community. Thank you, Mark Jarrett.
Thank you.
Treasurer's report.
Hello all. And I'd like to say a special hello to our former president, Mr. Joe Scalfani. Nice to see you. All right. So my treasurer's report goes as such. As of August 31st, we had a balance of 1.2 million in our operating account, 3.4 million in the special assessment account, and 6.6 million in combined reserves, for a total of 11.2 million, down from 11.5 million in August. Cost items that were over budget were legal by 56,000, professional and engineering by 55,000, and taxes and licenses by 50,000. Yet we are only $20,000 over our budget for the year. So yeah, like professional and engineering, we're paying from operating for a lot of our engineering work, let's say on the cooling towers. We paid some for the roofing, re-engineering. We paid, so that's why our engineering went up a little. And legal, we had some litigation that we needed to settle. And taxes and licenses includes income tax for the over $400,000 in interest that we are here and earning this year. So now we're allowing for that. We're in the process of selecting winning bids for a fire alarm, sprinkler, and BDA project, including engineering, project management, and contingency. We expect that to cost 1.54 million, which fortunately is below our original estimate. In your package, you'll see the bid. And what we did is sort of mix and match. Some contractors were lower on, it was 3 components for each bid. So we're mixing and matching with the lowest from each contractor. By year end, we have an estimated Sears, which is the important reserve balance of 5.6 million. That's including accrued interest through December. And the non-Sears reserve balance is 1.77 million, including interest through December. That's just a rough calculation. This 1.77 million, which is supposed to cover the cooling tower project, is barely enough. So I'll get into that a little later. In our reserve study from February of 2024, what they estimated a 7-year remaining lifetime for the cooling towers. The cooling towers is where the water that circulates throughout the building for the air conditioning, that's where it goes up on the roof. And then it's got this mechanism where it releases all the heat, and so it can recirculate cold water through the building for cooling. So this was supposed to have 7 years remaining of useful lifetime from 2024. But since we did our roof, we're planning on doing our roofing project, and we're in bad need of doing our roofing project. We don't want to have to, after doing the roof and spending $2 million on it, we don't want to have to tear it up by going up there, taking down this big, huge structure that's a roofing tower and start construction again. So it sort of accelerated, the timeline for replacing the roof. More than the replacement cost that the engineer had originally calculated in the reserve studies. So I think we'd be good if we just funded the non-Sears by what the reserve specialist recommended, which is just a few dollars of difference. I think since it's going to be staggered and it's not going to start until the middle of next year, we'll manage that without any kind of special assessment. As far as the Sears reserves, which is for the major structural systems of the building, which includes concrete restoration, the fire alarm and the sprinkler system. It includes the HVAC risers and so forth. We have we have 5.6 million in that. And I think we're going to stick with a minimum contribution of 1.586 million for that. So along with the members of the finance committee, we've been working on our budget and for 2026. And so far, we're looking at a modest 1.9% to 4% increase, which is really the swing is a function of what we decide on funding the reserves. If we want to go with a little higher number, it's going to be closer to 4%. If we want to go with a minimum number, it's going to be 1.9%. So, but considering that we have this project that's looming in the next 6 to 9 months, we're going to make our recommendations based on our cash flow requirements. In the moderate funding scenario, there would be a $200,000 overall budgeting. So we're just talking about a $200,000 overall increase. The main component of this increase is the increase in payroll, which now commands almost 1/3 of our budget. It's 32% of our budget is payroll. Bear in mind that this is mainly due to the newly added position of building engineer. This is a desperately needed position for this aging building, and the burden was on Scott to, in addition to dealing with management issues, to go, walk through the building every day, look for, the components of the building that were lacking any attention and falling apart. So we hired somebody whose full-time job is to make sure that the handymen do their job, they maintain the building properly. We're not going to have fans and exhaust fans, deteriorating beyond, usefulness. And now the building's aging, the building's almost 50 years old. So we needed to hire somebody that their full-time job is to pay attention to maintaining the building and maintaining the staff. The job was offered to Dodson, but Dodson didn't want to be a chief. He wanted to just do the work, and that's what he's good at. The other rise costs in salaries where we're assuming is the cost of the added cost for the head of security. We had issues with Chris, who wasn't really enforcing certain bylaws with respect to the number of guests out by the pool, with respect to certain members' conduct. And so we wanted to bring that up to a higher level to make sure that our rules of conduct are enforced adequately to protect everybody's interests. In this scenario, we're assuming a 10% decrease in insurance. So, in fact, our insurance broker spoke to us today, and he did confirm that for next year, rather than the 30% increases that we've been experiencing in the past, this year, for the second year in a row, we're going to get a decrease in our insurance premium, which gives us more breathing room so that we can increase our social budget a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we can afford to pay for drinks. As we did in 2025, I also propose using $150,000 of our owner's equity, which right now currently is close to 500,000. It fluctuates a little bit on a monthly basis, but we have, monies that we accumulated over the years. That's called owner's equity, money that's just sitting in the bank. It's outside of our annual budget, so we might as well dip into that and soften the blow of the budget increase a little bit. So with this scenario, we're talking about a 3% increase, which is in line with inflation. So it's something that we can work with. The Finance Committee will be working on finalizing the budget in the next few weeks in time for the next board meeting. This concludes the September 30th, 2025 Treasurer's Report. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey. Scott, Manager's Report.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Few things we've completed since the last board meeting in August. We finally got the third stop sign in that we changed in front of the main garage gate. So now all three stop signs are LED lighted stop signs. Last meeting, I was explaining that we were having that front entrance grate area cleaned out by a company because that kept getting clogged all the time and pooling up in front there. I explained that we were going to be putting screens in underneath the grates there to help catch debris, to help limit the clogging that we have going on there. So these are just pictures of the guys putting in the screens there. So this happened quite a few months ago. This portion of the fence is on the lobby level on the south side of the building. This part of the fence was damaged by the neighboring property as they were doing work on that side of the property. Somehow something crashed into there or fell in there. And it took me close to 6 months of going through Alpha Tech and their insurance company to get payment to have this fixed. And I finally received that check last week from their insurance company. So Sheet Metal Experts is fabricating a new section of fence there, and that should be, the damaged part will be removed and the new section will be put in the next couple of weeks. The other week, Ocolo was on site and they were changing out a big section on the bottom portion of the main tower trash chute. You can see these are pieces of the new trash chute that was going to be installed. The picture on the left, this is a big chunk of the trash chute that was removed. And the area that was circled there, you can see there was big holes in the trash chute. And what was happening was as trash was coming down, some of it was getting, falling through those holes and getting stuck in between the wall and the trash chute. And I think once they removed that section, a bunch of the trash that was stuck in between the wall and that trash chute came down. And Bobby said it was close to between a half a dumpster to 3/4 of a dumpster of trash just sitting in between the wall there. So hopefully that will alleviate some of the smell that we may have experienced, depending on which way the wind blew.
And the road.
But yes, that was a big issue. And then the picture on the right, you can see they had to open up a big section of the wall on the first floor trash room just to put this stuff together. And then this picture here, you can see that they fixed the wall, skimmed it all down, and maintenance will be painting it this week just to finish this off. First floor east and 19th floor west AC units were replaced over this past month. As discussed at one of the prior meetings, we were changing out all of the lobby level lights. I think we have it pretty consistent now where they're pretty much all one color now rather than sconces being one color, hi-hats being another color. So that was completed. The security director's office, after Chris left, when me and Isabella went in there to roam around and just look for certain documents and get on the computer there was piles and piles of papers everywhere. Nothing was organized, nothing was filed. So we did a good job of cleaning that office out for George for when he started. And then we had maintenance go in and paint the office again for him. We changed some of the light fixtures that were up in the ceiling for him and tried making it look more of like a professional office rather than the way it was. Same thing with the maintenance office too. There was, over 50 years, there was a lot of stuff collected in that office, just sitting in piles and boxes. And so what maintenance has been doing, they're cleaning out the maintenance office there. They're getting more things organized. We have, you can't see in any of these pictures, but some of the shelving that's towards the right of these pictures, a lot of stuff is now all in bins. It's labeled, it's organized, rather than them fumbling through there 20 minutes for looking for something. Everything's, right there. They know exactly where to get it. So more pictures will come at the next meeting of once this maintenance office is completed. The area near the beach access on the lobby level we were doing some repainting there. We painted that whole back wall there. We painted the columns there, just trying to make it look nicer in that area, as that is the main, access point towards the promenade and the beach there. Main tower elevator rooms, we got all these nice and painted now that TKE is out of there working. We repainted all the walls. TKE painted most of the flooring, as that was part of in their contract for them to do that. But we did all the walls. We're putting up different emergency procedures for shutdowns and safety stations and everything up in these rooms. And that this will be done to all the elevator machine rooms. The first floor pool door was finally replaced. I know that door was giving some people some headaches. It took a while for the vendor to get the door in, but it did come in. Maintenance painted it, and then the vendor came back out and installed the door with us or for us. So hopefully that door is not giving anybody any more problems. If it is, please come let me know, but it should be working good now. The stairs to the beach and the pool were repainted last week. This week, I know maintenance, they were working on sanding down the railings and that fence and kind of the gate doors to the beach area. They were sanding those down and getting all those painted, so that should be looking a lot nicer than what it did previously. The hot water heater for the pool shower was replaced. I don't think it was working that good and it was in poor condition and starting to leak, so we did replace that. So that's the hot water that supplies the shower on the pool deck. Last month we were speaking about renting parking spots that the association currently owns. Right now, our first round of spots that we're gonna make available for rent are gonna be spots 101, 275, 276, and 286. What I'll be doing is I'll be reaching out to the residents that did reply to my email about having interest in renting one of these spots. I will be giving them this list of 4 spots so they can go take a look at the spots, see if their car will actually fit in these spots or if they're comfortable parking in these spots. And then once I can confirm from these residents, which was, I think I had about 15 or 16 residents say that they were interested. Once I get confirmation from them over the next week, 2 weeks, whether or not they are interested or not interested, depending on how many we have, if we have more than 4 people that are interested, what we'll do at the next board meeting is we'll do a drawing for these spots. Whoever had interest, we'll put their names in a bowl right here in front of everybody, and we'll draw names at an open board meeting. So the person that gets picked first, they'll be able to pick which spot they want, second, third, fourth. And then what we'll do is the 5th person, they'll be the first on a waiting list, and then so on. 6th person will be second person on the waiting list. So the office will have a waiting list available, and then anybody else that wants to get put on the waiting list, will be able to email us and let us know. Hopefully in the future, probably not in the near future until some of these projects get completed, but we do have some tandem spots that TKE's storing a bunch of equipment in. I think there's 2 tandem spots and there's 1 single spot. Once they're done, we may need that space for when we start doing risers and other projects, but hopefully once the building is all done with projects, we can open up those spots for rent as well. Few administrative items. So at our board meeting on August 19th, I reported a resident delinquency on maintenance fees of a total of $66,209. As of this morning, we brought that number down to $24,565. Since the last meeting, we've received 2 sales packets, one for unit 711 and one for 1005. There was a 3rd sales packet that we received, but it looked like that sale got canceled. And then we also received 2 rental packets, unit 509 and unit 2612. And then, so this was a request by the board for me to add this information in. Right now, this is a current list of units that are undertaking renovation projects in their units. These are more of the noisy projects, and not just a simple, I want to change my light fixture out, but more of them having new floors put in or remodeling my kitchen, or full demos of units. So right now we have about 10 units actively that are doing some kind of major construction work in their units. And what I'll do every month, I'll update this list. If some of these units are completed by next month, it'll stay on the list, but it'll show completed. And then we'll probably have new units on this list with a little detail of what work they're going to be doing. I know Mark and Heskey spoke about our 2 new employees that we have, Rodney and Jorge. There are a few things I did want to mention about them real quickly. Rodney's official start date was September 2nd. Over the first 2 weeks of his employment, he went to four different luxury buildings that First Services managed and spent the day following their chief engineer around just to get, ideas and feedback of what they're doing at those properties, what they do as far as preventative maintenance, different work orders and programs they have for the maintenance staff that's working under the chief maintenance property. I'm sorry, the chief building maintenance at these properties. These buildings were Jackson Tower, Las Olas Beach Club, Water Garden, and Tiffany House. These four buildings also had some of the highest quality and insurance inspection grades that through First Service in their yearly inspections. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted Rodney to go to these buildings. And then he also attended an actual live quality and inspection at Mystic Point 400 in Aventura. The point of that was for him to get a good idea of what First Service has as far as, maintaining the building, maintaining mechanical rooms, proper documentation in each of these mechanical rooms, just to make sure, again, as Heskey mentioned, to make sure that we're not getting garage exhaust fans to the condition where they can't operate anymore, rooftop exhaust fans, just making sure that we are keeping a good eye on these, all these components so they don't get to the rate of just failure and leaving them there for years. Some of the things, some of the things that Rodney has took over now are instead of maintenance guys just kind of picking and choosing what work orders they're going to do every day, he's assigning the work orders to the team as far as what needs to be done. And then once work orders are completed, the employees just can't go into Building Link and close out the work orders. They need to check in with Rodney so Rodney can verify that these work orders are getting completed and, completed properly. Rodney's starting to take over the daily mechanical room inspections. He's also been kind of just observing the team over the past 3 weeks, seeing what their skill sets are, where their weaknesses are, and just trying to work with them. And then we do have a maintenance team meeting scheduled for tomorrow, just to go over with the team on what expectations are, what their work ethic should be and overall performance as they're here working in the building. Again, Heskey did touch up on Dotson. And again, I do want to reiterate that Dotson was offered the position of chief maintenance or the building maintenance engineer. He felt that he was not up to the performance expectations and accountability that comes with this leadership role. So he voluntarily declined the position and was okay with, with us hiring somebody else to oversee the maintenance department. Jorge, the new operations manager, he officially started on September 8th. He shadowed another operations manager at One Watermark Place of the Palm Beaches. We are looking for a second building for him to still go shadow, and just kind of the same idea what Rodney was doing. What policies and procedures are they implementing at these buildings? What's their security team actually doing while they're on site working? So it's just that's just part of First Service, having all these other buildings available to go and look at and see and get ideas from on what they're doing. So we're trying to take advantage of that. We had a security and operations meeting last week on the 23rd, just going over different items, organizational items, pretty much, because we do have basically a brand new security staff now. So we had to hold our first team meeting now that Jorge's in, just to start on focusing on the improvements and what we have to do to bring that department up to the level where it probably hasn't been in quite a while. The former operations manager, Chris Broxson, he was put on a 90-day performance improvement plan that listed goals of performance expectations such as leadership skills, daily performance, and required duties. And due to Chris failing to demonstrate sufficient improvement, his employment with Playa del Sol and First Service was terminated. And that was the reason for the hire of George. And with that, that'll conclude my report. The board has any questions?
I just,
All right, I'm sorry.
Microphones.
That's okay. So this information will go out with the email I send to the residents that are interested in the parking spots, but I just want to let everybody know that in the lease that was drafted up by the association's attorney, there is no subleasing of these spots or transfer of use of these spots.
Scott, I know these are annual leases, but are we gonna have any kind of term limit so that people on the waiting list have a chance to ever?
1 year.
It's a 1 year.
I mean, I know it's 1 year, so they're not entitled to an automatic renewal.
Honestly, I would find that difficult, because I think if somebody wants a second spot, they probably either want to purchase a second car or, have a second car they want to bring down for wherever, and especially if somebody goes and purchases a new car because they can get a second spot and we only offer it to them for a year.
Got a waiting list, so
Yeah, it's kind of,
Yeah, there's a waiting list.
there's no waiting list, there's no problem. We renew it.
I kind of think about it like in cabanas. We have a waiting time. My husband and I actually in the top of the cabana list. We've been there for like 4 years. So, it's, we know, what that is. But, we've had different discussions, about this. But, we've been, how do you be fair to everybody? We all have different ideas about that, but we sent the information over to our attorneys to, prepare that lease. So, I think that if that wasn't, a good idea, she would have let us know too.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Who's that?
Who's that?
I'm Ava. I'm 614. What is Rodney's background as far as being a manager?
I don't have his resume in front of me, but he was the head of maintenance at other condominium properties. Basically for half of his career. I know he was him and his son had an AC company, but he pretty much gave that over to his son and many years ago, and just got into the maintenance in condominiums.
And then another question. I lived here for 23 years, and why all of a sudden we need a manager when Dotson and Bobby are doing like awesome jobs?
So I can speak to that as well. I think other board members can speak to it as well. From an aging building like ours, there definitely needs to be leadership. The folks that we have, Bobby and Dotson, they roll up their sleeves and will do the work. But from managing work orders to preventive maintenance to more detailed management of such work, the building has lacked that over the years. And certainly, at least having prior self-managed, where it was an association manager within the office directing this, we could see that, things were, being done from a day-to-day perspective, but from a long-term, longevity perspective, these were not being accomplished. And we're certainly seeing that with when First Services came in and doing an assessment from a quality perspective, we are not hitting the mark as an association. So that was really important, and I think many of you can attest. You have seen the many different changes within the building since then.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Yep. Any other? Okay.
Perfect.
Sure. Can you come up to the mic, please?
Get it by
So,
yourself, please.
look, I'm
To
just.
the mic, to
No,
the microphone.
Because people need to
Get it by
hear you.
yourself.
A name and unit.
Xavier Greenbaum, apartment 511. Scott, you said that the tandem spot may be used for the risers eventually when they're ready. So,
Correct, because we're gonna need staging areas for these other projects that are
the
gonna
point
be.
is, how can you talk about the water towers without addressing the riser at the same time?
We are
We
doing
are.
it right. We are doing, we are.
Yeah, okay, so what is the actual life on the water? You said there are 7 years left and we decide to replace it now, right? So what is the actual life of a water tower?
Yeah,
No, not that long.
25 years.
Right. But
So
there's a reason why, there's a reason why it's now. Use the mics.
So they're normally between 25 and 30 years, it's gonna depend how close you are to the coast or not, getting the salt water, how good have they been maintained over that lifespan. Our reserve study, I believe Husky said 7 years as of last year. Reserve studies are an estimate, they're supposed to help us gauge as far as, life expectancies, but again, depending on how close to the coast you are, how good they are maintained, it's.
But just remember, no matter what we do on the roof, we're gonna have to tear up sections. Even once the new roof is down, whether it's Comcast, their whatever, we're gonna have to tear up those sections. We're gonna have to call the roofing company and, regardless.
It's heavy. The steel underneath the water towers is all rotted out.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I didn't know what the life was. That's
Well,
why, that was a big question.
Playa Del Bar already changed it like 10 years ago. They're
No,
all
I-
water towers.
I'm not,
We have the original water towers,
I'm
but
not debating.
we had refurbished them, I think 6 years ago. But that was just a temporary resurfacing them. But now we're gonna put more efficient water towers up there.
So here's the other thing. We all know the new Florida law about carrying a weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay? So there are people in the building, a lot of people in the building have guns, okay, right? So are we prepared, for instance, if somebody comes to visit? I mean, are we having any kind of restrictions?
Yeah.
Showing their weapons, and somebody coming down the elevator with a weapon?
So there have been communications internally, also noted when this occurred. Asked Scott and Joe from a senior leadership perspective for services to give us insight on the next steps. This is certainly fluid, as you can imagine. There's been a lot of chaos this week, but yes, there are communications going, and we are looking to see what that protocol is going to be, and that's what Scott and security dealing with it right now as well. And legal is going to be providing advice as well based on what's transpired.
Thanks, Xavier.
I don't know, Scott, if there's anything else updated from
No.
that point, but
That's exactly where we are.
Don't we do this at the end of the
No,
job?
we're not doing it.
Broker at 2814. I assume we're renting the parking spaces out and we'll get income. How many years do you think it'll take for that income to pay off our attorney fees to do all this stuff?
thank you.
I think
The attorney fees.
Yeah.
The attorney fees,
My question was how
just to
long?
prepare that document?
Right, because I mean, I assume Donna's charging us money for it, and I'm just kind of curious when the break-even point is.
Less than a year.
Let's hear that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have one more. Is this on Scott's president's report? Because we will have an open owner questions and answers at the end.
Todd?
It's sort of related, but it's really back to what Heskey said. I want to thank Heskey for his report. I think I heard all of it, but my computer might have like broken up for a second. Heskey, did you say that you are considering, or the board is considering, an increase in our HOA fees between 1.9 and 4%?
Correct.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that's what you were referring to, but thank you for clarifying. Also, I just want to say, I think it's terrific that we have a new building engineer in that new position and a new head of security. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, moving along with regards to committee reports, do we have, for document rules?
I see Ferguson 602. We met earlier this month with a focus on guest and visitor classifications for the rules and regulations. I know that this has been something that we've talked about at different board meetings and everything. We're trying to get a handle on that and make sure that everyone knows what that rule will be. We are putting the final touches on this so that it can be presented to the board for discussion and approval. After that, this will pretty much finish up our review of the rules and regulations. We are now looking to the board of directors direction how to move forward and get the document approved for implementation. A good portion of our work has been removing things that no longer apply, like resident use phones in the mailroom, third-class mailboxes, and other issues like security delivering packages to individual apartments. The bigger changes we have already brought to the board for approval, like the cabanas and garage storage for chairs and boogie boards from the beach. As I continue to say, this document will continue to evolve as issues like the beach umbrellas present themselves, but I don't think that we should continue to wait to get this document approved and into circulation. I would like to send the final document to the board in the next week for review and discussion and have it voted on at the next board meeting. This would allow it to be distributed to all owners prior to the start of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
Nope, thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Insurance and finance, would there be any update?
I covered everything in my treasure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No question. Social committee.
Give us that smile.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Lynn.
Funny, look.
I'm Lynn Kramer, 611. A couple of interesting things going on in the month of October. We have two events. First one is pumpkin painting. That will be on Saturday morning from 10 to 12 on the 25th. Put it on your calendars if you are missing the little sheet that we put out. Everybody's got one of those hanging on their refrigerator. The sign-up sheet will be out at the desk by the mailroom. This year we are charging the adults $5 for the pumpkin painting, and the kids are free. So let us know how many adults need to come. There's a sign-up sheet. There's the little white box where you put the money in. We're not doing anything like sending it through Zelle or anything like that. $5 each. The other really exciting thing in October, our happy hour is actually on Halloween. We're calling it Costumes and Cocktails. You are encouraged to wear a costume, but it's not mandatory. Just bring something and put it on the table in the back. And it's a potluck open bar as usual. I did miss something about the pumpkin painting. We want to see the kids in costumes, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy that too. So those are the two things happening. No sign up, obviously, for cocktails and costumes. The December 6th is the holiday party potluck. That is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Again, it's 6 to 9 potluck back there. Bring something that's a holiday treat. And we hope to see everybody. The trees will be up. We'll have something where we have some of our serious volunteers help to put up all the trees. They'll bring everything in from the cage, but we'll put them up and decorate them before the first party. New Year's Eve is going to be fabulous. We have a caterer lined up. Rob's going to tell you more about it. We have Lenora J, who is going to be our live entertainment for the day. And the caterer is fabulous. It's the same one that did an event over at Hermitage. Those of you that know Barry Ledbetter is over at the Hermitage, used to live here. He recommended, we went out and said, tell us who your best caterers are. And we got about 10 recommendations, and we narrowed it down to called Sidecar Kitchen. And they come very highly recommended. Rob's going to tell you more about it. Financials, we are processing the invoice that we sent to Scott for $1,277.30. And in the account, we have about $2,200. So that money will then deplete the budgets that we've had for 2025, and that money will be in the bank account that we maintain. So that's our report. We're hoping to see lots of people for events between now and the end of the year. And it's my pleasure, Scott, if you'll put the slides up to introduce Rob, who's going to talk to you about New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Rob Colleen 402. A lot of you know my husband, Todd, but you don't know me because I'm not usually here that much. But I'm retired now, so I'm going to be here more. Todd and I heard about the fact that the social committee decided not to have a New Year's Eve party earlier this year, and we offered to step in and get involved and run the event ourselves and help with the social committee to do that. So it's going to be a little bit different than past years. Past years has been a sit-down dinner with a buffet or with served. This is going to be live entertainment and dancing and a cocktail party atmosphere, as opposed to a buffet and a sit-down table, seated, assigned table seated kind of situation. So there will be a large display of charcuteries and cheeses and artichokes and roasted red peppers and all kinds of stuff like that. Crudité, cheeses and crackers and shrimp cocktail. That'll be a stationary display. And then I will be doing that myself. I'm a trained chef and a previous caterer. So I've done this many, many times. So I'll be doing that display. And then we hired Sidecar Kitchen to come in and do heavy passed hors d'oeuvres. So they are going to be doing 5 different options for us. We chose a beef, a chicken, a fish, and 2 vegetarians. And they are, and I just lost my page, one sec. We're doing mini beef Wellingtons with a bourbon barbecue sauce. We're doing summer chicken skewers with tzatziki sauce. We're doing mini tuna tacos with mango slaw and sriracha sauce. And then the 2 vegetarian options are sun-dried tomato and portobello mushroom arancini balls, and a crostini that the caterer explained. Their chef is from Argentina, and this is his grandmother's recipe for marinated eggplant and goat cheese crostinis. So there will be, depending on the numbers that we have, they're planning to do 150 of each of those 5 appetizers passed. We can increase or decrease depending as we get closer to the event. If we have more people, we can increase to 200 of each or 175 of each. It's all flexible at this point. Sidecar Kitchen will provide 2 bartenders, 3 servers, and a chef in the kitchen who will be preparing the appetizers. For dessert, we're going to do platters of strawberries and blueberries and raspberries and blackberries, chocolate truffles and chocolates and champagne. So it'll be a buffet type atmosphere for the desserts. We will have Lenora J, who, if you haven't seen her, she's amazing. She sings everything from Frank Sinatra to Lady Gaga at this point, but she's very wonderful entertainer. She'll be here from 8 to 12. So there'll be singing and dancing. Different from many years before, there will not be a sit-down atmosphere. We're going to be renting tall cocktail tables that we wrapped in spandex that Todd and I have purchased and are donating to the social committee. So they look almost like martini glasses. And the room will be set up to be more of a cocktail party atmosphere. So people aren't we're starting serving, the main buffet will be at 8 o'clock, or not buffet, but the stationary appetizers. And the past hors d'oeuvres will start at 8:30, and go till 11. So people should not plan to have a dinner at this event. It's a cocktail party with cocktail, with hors d'oeuvres and that kind of food. So we're planning to serve at 8:30. So eat a little dinner beforehand and then come enjoy the entertainment, the dancing, the music. It'll be an open bar, etc. So a little bit different than what we've done before. We'll try it. We'll see if it works, and we'll go from there. We've been working directly with the social committee, and Bob Macaluso was with me when we met with the caterer yesterday. They came and saw the facility and space, and he was blown away that they could drive right in from the garage with they bring a mobile kitchen. And so he said there are several places where they go where they have to take 4 elevators to get to the space that they have to do a catering event. So he's very excited to work here.
Very good. I'll go on.
All right, moving along to old business. Scott,
Can I ask you, can I stop you for a second? Because my hand's up. It's 14:10. Is there any way that you can put the camera so we can see who's speaking in the audience? Because I can't see the people who have been asking questions and speaking.
okay,
The camera's not, it's not even near the microphone at all.
Isabella, move it over here. They
Yeah.
face that way,
instead
they'll
of the
see it.
association, instead of the board.
Thank
They know what
thank
we.
you,
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
To the right.
You'll see it. You'll see straight in.
Right there where you are. Go back. Keep on going, go. A little more. No,
Right there.
no.
A little bit more to the left.
That's perfect, that's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Over.
Outside of the points that I made, Scott, any more major project updates on your end?
Regarding the elevators, I know last week there were some, up on the roof when they were working, some loud noise and some smells coming through the elevator shaft. That was in part of them removing the old, mechanical equipment that was up in those elevator machine rooms. Part of that had to do with a lot of grinding they were doing and putting oil on the areas they were grinding to keep it, from getting overheating and red hot. And then also they were painting multiple things in the elevator machine rooms, but that has been completed, so residents shouldn't be experiencing those smells coming through the elevator shaft anymore, except for maybe every once in a while there may be some minor touch-ups they have to do, but nothing like it was last week. And a lot of the louder noises should be completed now that that old equipment is out of those machine rooms. Yes, there will be a little tinkering here and there, but again, not like what we experienced last week. I do know, I believe it's either the first or second week of December is when CEI is scheduled to come in and do the cabs of the elevators. There will be noise with that as they'll have the cabs down on the lower garage floor and they'll be chipping out the old floors in those elevators. So that would probably be the next time any real loud noise will happen.
Didn't we mention that they got a park manager, Sanders?
The Sharp, you mean?
No, TKE.
Oh, yeah, you
And
want
more.
you want to note about the new project manager as well?
So one of the people that's been working with us with TK recently, John Holland, he was in charge of the southeast area of the United States for elevator modernization. Because of the issues we were having on this project, First Service reached out to TKE and got him involved. Unfortunately, he wasn't the greatest help to us, and he did retire this month. The person that has taken over for him, Adam, I forget his last name, Sanders, so far has been a lot more responsive than John and more detailed with us. And then also one of the lower level project managers, Monisha. We kind of ran her off this project with our disappointment with the way it's been handling. And they brought in a new guy, named Mark, who again seems to be a lot more responsive and willing to answer our questions and emails than Monisha was. So hope
There is an improvement.
Yes, yes, we all see.
So since the past couple of weeks, we have this guys as there has been an improvement. Hopefully during these last two elevators, that improvement doesn't deteriorate, but continues until we can finally finish these.
Yeah, and Scott, just to add, we were a little concerned that the main guy who came down, actually, we helped him retire much quicker. And it was, and I think they noted it was gonna be Adam Sandler joining, so you could just imagine the concerns we had there, but yes, thank you. Anything else?
And I know it's only been, 2 or 3 weeks they've been working on these wing elevators, but so far, they are still on schedule.
Yeah.
Don't jinx.
Yeah,
Don't
Scott,
jinx
you-
it.
Scott,
They never see anything.
Yeah, can you note about,
Yeah, you
you also working with, was a Jorge and confirming the protocol with, emergency services as well, please?
Yeah, so last week, we called the fire department to come in and look at the wings for us. We explained to them that, hey, the wing elevators are down for modernization. These are residents, we took them up on the catwalks. These are residents have to get back and forth from their units right now. In the event of an emergency and you guys have to come and respond to something, we wanted to give you a heads up. This is what you're coming into in the building. Do you have enough room for your, whatever they're called, their stretchers and that? And so they actually brought stretchers up to the catwalks and went to, I think it was 3 or 4 different floors, even though they're the same, but they took them to 3, 4 different floors and did confirm that, yes, they can get stretchers all the way from the main tower to the residence units and inside the residence units on the wings. And that was just additional comfort for us in the building to have that done and to confirm that it was possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving along, old business from the prior meetings, beach chairs. I'll open it up to the board. I think it was a discussion about, there was some recommended, lounges that were shown here. The question was, with regards to the quantities and so forth, now that folks had an assessment of those chairs, it's a matter of, I think, the board having that discussion about what is the next step.
Want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, we opened it up for 100 chairs. We narrowed it down, and we're gonna go with the blue color. They were on display for people to take a look at. There was a tariff charge put on the chairs that we didn't know back in March when we started. So, but they gave us a 5% discount on that. So instead of being $3,000, it's only $1,500. So the only thing we need to do now is pull the trigger. What are we going to do? There's not enough chairs outside. We're going to be going into the season. We're short. I think there's only 40 chairs on the beach itself. So I'm looking for some guidance on what we're doing.
So, are the, basically the chairs on the beach, are they blue or are they white?
We're going with blue.
No, I know
Solid
the new
blue.
chairs, yes, but
Solid
the ones that remain right now.
They're
They're
blue.
blue.
They're blue. And they're the single strap, right?
They're a single strap.
Right. And, does anybody know how many chairs we started with? I mean, does anybody know? Joe, do you know how many chairs we started with? I mean, this has been years since we replaced chairs. So I'm kind of at a loss if anybody has any recommendations because we have 372 units. And a lot of times people go down the beach, they don't see a chair and then they, do something else like we do. We sit on sand, but, I'm finding it hard not to have 100 chairs for 372 units. And, because yes, they're not all not going to be here at the same time, but we are down to 40 chairs And so that's not enough. And, so if we bought 100 chairs and put the 40 in the garage for backup, then at least we know they're not getting beat up daily. The new chairs are taking, which are able to take, you know, the salt air and everything else. That's just my thought process. And
Well, when we did this, Barbara, we looked at 370 units. It's less than a third coverage.
Right.
So I myself, you know, you gotta have a chair for people. That's what you pay your association fees for. All right? If you have nothing to sit on up there, you know, what's the sense of paying the HOAs? And we're gonna raise it 3%, 1 to 3%? Come on, what are we doing?
So why don't we take into consideration the 40 that we have? I mean, why just stick them in the garage? Why don't we
Because-
supplement them with 60 chairs? And leave those 60 chairs out there, so it's sort of, it's a buffer
It's
between the
down to
public.
40, Heskey. It's down to
So
40.
40 plus
And guess
60.
what? They're in bad shape too. So, you know, these chairs came from before I got here. They probably came off the pool deck when the new furniture came in there and they ended up on the beach. So, you know, as a resident, speaking for the rest of the residents, I go to the beach all the time. I want a chair. And I think they want a chair too.
Are we gonna leave them like outside permanently instead of taking them out, bringing them back?
Let's
taking them out?
outside.
We're left
I mean,
outside.
like, why don't we just set up like the first row, like the third row that we were gonna add? Just leave those new chairs there permanently. Instead of every day, take them, bring them, take them, bring
Well,
them.
they stay out on the beach. They're just stacked on the beach.
Yeah, but can we leave them on the beach?
On the first row,
cart. I heard someone talk about a cart that I've never seen.
It's there, underneath the stairs, it's a cart.
So we have a cart that doesn't work.
Yeah, it's got flat tires.
Like anything else that wasn't maintained.
So, okay, but my whole point is, so if we buy these chairs, you know, there's a lot of us that, you know, would like to be able to not lift and carry them all the way down. So the cart was something novel in I'm like, where's the cart? And now Alex says that we have flat tires. So
and that's an-
can
and
we
that's an
put that
easy
on our
fix, right?
maintenance, log to fix that? That would be nice because that would be helpful. Like with the year that, Joe and I were on the board together, we were voting about getting the mat because the sand is hot. And I think this would help too, because the sand does get hot. And, you know, and so this would just help us older residents get the chairs down to the beach.
Sure, I mean, you can bring them out in the morning and bring them back in the afternoon.
But these chairs are, they're double weave, so they're more sturdy.
Yes.
They're light chairs because they're aluminum, is that correct?
They're aluminum, they're also basically reinforced. Whereas if a person, the chairs that you have out there right now are basically 150 pounds. So a person who's over 150 pounds will not support their weight. Certain people can't sit on. These chairs are reinforced. You can put somebody on there 250 pound and a little bit better. So, you know, you have to take a look at that.
And they're higher up.
And they're higher up, yes.
All right, let's make a motion.
So, I'll second you make,
I make a motion to purchase the chairs.
Are we gonna decide on a quantity?
Let's start off with, I'll make a motion for 100 chairs.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So much for that. Next issue.
We can open it up.
It's voted on.
I think it should have been, hold on, you gotta go back.
That's all right. Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
And who seconded?
Yeah, motion.
Bill.
I second the
And
motion.
now it opens up for the association.
Okay, go ahead.
So there was a motion, to vote for 100 of the blue chairs. Anybody from the association, questions or comments on that? Before the voting?
You go against me.
We have 40 out there, 100, that's one chair less to 2 units. Okay? That's a good start. I don't expect that we should have 300 chairs there, okay? But 100 chairs that 2 units, think about this, Heskey, can share one chair.
You can stay with me on one chair, babe.
Well, I know you do. Okay, now, the other thing is that a lot of buildings that have beachfront, they have these carts, which we have, that have the big wheels, and the beach guy pulls, there's maybe 20 or 30 chairs on that cart, brings it towards, let's say, where the end of where the carpet is, and places it there. That way people could take it from there, go down, and then they only have to bring them up halfway. And then the good thing is that he only has to pull the cart. Instead of grabbing one chair, you gotta make it convenient for everybody.
Great idea.
Okay.
So, Rob, sorry. In the wintertime, in season, there are people who come down in the morning and take those chairs and put them down and put, towels all over them. And there are no chairs for people. So we really need more chairs at this point. It's crazy.
I agree.
We sold 100 now.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, somebody's on, twice online.
I only.
One of the Barbara Rollins should be dropped.
Yeah, I dropped that one. We got a double.
Yep.
See Barbara in there twice.
Yep.
Now she's in once, but she's unmuted. Barbara, you have to unmute.
Or Barbara, you could unmute yourself as well.
Hello. Okay. So, thank you, Todd. So, two comments. Again, as Rob just touched on, it's not just that we have a shortage of chairs. We have a lot of people that think that they are able to take 6 to 10 chairs and keep them for themselves. And then, of course, there are no chairs for the rest of us. So whether we have 40 chairs or 100 chairs, I'm not sure that's really going to solve the problem of people reserving chairs for a whole day for all their guests. More importantly, though, than that, the question is regarding the social committee. So it came to my attention that
I'm sorry, Barbara, we're talking about the beach chairs right now.
I know, but you already had the social committee report, and I tried to ask a question, but I wasn't recognized.
Right. During the committee reports, it's simply a report. There will be, right after new business owner questions and comments. And the folks will still be here for that as well. We want to continue on the agenda.
Okay, so go back to the chairs then. I believe that more importantly, that we should have these umbrellas and have them set up, because people can't have no shade out there on the beach. And when it's windy, which it is most of the winter, it's not safe to put up your own umbrella because, as you know, they can go flying and injure someone. And I'm trying to understand where we've gotten sidetracked with, setting up umbrellas.
Can I speak to that? So Barbara, Al has been working with the chart for the cabanas out front. He thought he would have it ready for today, but it's not going to be ready. It should be ready for the next board meeting. He's working with the graph that Scott gave him to identify the length and the width of the beach, because the cabanas are not in they're not real order. And so because we can move our cabanas up further to the front of the beach line, it gives us room for the back for the umbrellas. So he's just working on the calculations to see where we can put the umbrellas, so that for the next board meeting, we should have something, more definite as to having these umbrellas in the ground. So I agree with you. We do need umbrellas.
Have we looked into the costing and chosen the umbrellas in the meantime while we wait for this plan?
The color's gonna be blue.
The color probably will be blue, so we'll actually start now. I'll give him a call tomorrow to get a rough idea of how many he thinks, and then maybe we can start looking into it.
Thank you.
All right, you want to know about the umbrellas, Barbara? There's only one company in the area that's in Pompano, which is Fiberbilt. They're the manufacturer of umbrellas. You can buy anything from a super duty down to a light duty. So we know exactly where we're going to go, but we didn't decide on an umbrella, so we can't price anything as of yet. So as soon as we get the okay, we can go up there and price them up.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
But,
Chairs are gonna be 16 inches.
yeah, I think, just at least from my end, just noting about blue umbrellas, blue cabanas, blue umbrellas, blue chairs. For me, it's a little too strong, but, I would prefer to see a smaller number so we get an assessment of what that looks like, but it's on the board to have that discussion.
Okay, noted.
What Bill forgot to mention is the chairs that they're looking to purchase are 16 inches high. The chairs that are out there now, I think, are 12 inches. So they're the next level up. I think they're the same height as the ones at the pool deck. Because Al can verify that, but it is 16 inches, so it's a little easier when you're on the beach to get off the chair.
I can't get off.
No, but we have one in the audience too. Suzanne?
Al.
We have.
Owner.
Yeah, Al could speak.
Oh, I think there's Al.
Yeah, there he is.
Suzanne Scaff, and 11. I would be more than happy to volunteer and help you guys pull this together. It's really important that our beach looks good, that it's all designed together, that we don't have 5 shades of blue, that it's functional, it's marine. Great. Yeah, and I know how to do this, so if you want my expertise,
More than welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, one more thing. I'm also a Tucci distributor. They manufacture in Miami. I'd be more than happy to give the building my trade prices on umbrellas and help as I tried before.
No problem. Thank you.
Al's on. You want to get Al?
Okay, I think there was one more, hand raised or two, it looks like. We'll start with Al, maybe.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can hear you.
All right. Just wanted to expand on what Denise had mentioned. I have been looking at a number of different configurations to enhance the beach from a cabana, general appearance and configuration. Many people complain about the cabanas all being lined up so that the front row is good, the second row, they're looking at the back of the front row, and the third row, they can't see much of anything. So I have been trying to plan out a reconfiguration of that. Along with that was a discussion we had around umbrellas, trying to create an area where we could have umbrellas relatively close to where the stairway comes down, because many people can collectively want to sit under the palm trees, and it would be a good area for umbrellas. So looking at the master plan, there has been a couple of renditions, as I've done some peer reviews on them. Some of them don't quite meet everybody's expectations. For example, moving the front row, which would be closest to the beach. If you move it closer to the beach, then you start to encroach on so-called private property, our property, which would mean people would need to take the beach chairs onto the public beach. So complicated, trying to figure out what is the best combination of that. And I hopefully will have something to present to the board in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
I think there's one more.
Hi, are you talking about me, Mark Todd Brown?
Yes, Ty.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Hi again, briefly. Clearly, we need chairs. We don't have enough chairs, there's no question. Obviously, 100 is better than none, but I agree with Kathy, that's kind of paltry. The remaining chairs that we have are in really bad shape. So it sounds like everyone's already decided to get the dark blue double weave chairs, which is fine. I would urge the board to buy a minimum of 100, maybe even 150. But I want to add something else. It sounds like a couple of meetings ago, the board or the rules committee recommended or decided that all of us that have cabanas will be moving to the dark blue, so we have uniform cabanas, which I think is great. I think a uniform color is great. I don't care what color it is. I'm no designer, but maybe when you purchase these dark blue chairs for the association, you can also talk to the chair dealer about the aquamarine color chairs to be purchased by those of us that own cabanas. So we also have nice chairs that all match in our cabanas. And maybe the two colors together on the beach would look nice. The aquamarine chairs under the blue cabanas, with the dark blue chairs for the association on the beach. Just a suggestion. If we're going to be buying chairs, maybe that's the time to talk to the chair vendor so we get discounts and we get good prices. I don't know if you guys had thought of that at all.
Thank you.
I haven't gone that far.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that.
It's not that of me.
Okay. Any other?
Minimum.
I think you have to have a max.
For now.
Yeah, so, okay, so I think the motion and for, board approval is to, it sounds like it's an order of 100 chairs in the blue weave as noted, for the price then.
28,000.
28,000.
They'll hand it out and update it.
There's a sheet.
An update?
Sheet.
I have my hand up.
Oh, Mike DeCaspers?
Yeah, you've spoken about the lounge chairs, correct? Those are all lounge chairs, those 100?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so how about the sitting armchairs? What's happening with those?
Next.
They're gone, basically, except for a few that were they're a mess. The total, Scott, you were out there the other day, we took a lot, the armchairs were a mess, they were stained, they were.
The white ones.
The white ones.
The white ones, yeah, there's still a lot of those blue ones out there.
Do we know how many?
I was doing the launch yesterday.
Doing the lounge chairs.
So I think the, board comment is that we're doing the lounge chairs first.
The lounge chairs first.
And leave the old ugly ones that are there?
No, we'll pick them up at a later date.
Yeah, those.
Like, there's some
those
blue
would
ones
be
out there that are still in pretty good condition. The white ones, they moved the bigger portion off because they were like totally trashed.
Is the lounge chairs still the same ones that were on display there? And I sent Scott and Mark an email on those. Are they
Yes,
still the
they're
same ones?
Same ones. You can't use a sling chair, even the manufacturer. Even the manufacturer tells you a sling chair is not recommended for the beach.
Okay, so those chairs are gonna have, when the wind is out, those towels are gonna be flying around. There's nowhere to tuck in the towels.
You clip it on the top.
Majority of the people have clips. If they're clipped, a lot of your towels now have pockets. You know, the clips are very inexpensive. I mean, that's, exactly.
Amazon.
I requested that they be reconsidered, okay, to some better chairs, okay, from Fiber Built.
Fiber
or Lex.
the manufacturer, they do umbrellas. I visited Fiber Type because they were close. And I got prices from them.
It's called Lux Outdoor Living, which is Fiber Built, same location, same people.
Different.
Right.
They don't build their own strap chairs.
So they're not Fiber Built chairs.
They're not Fiber Built chairs, no.
I still believe that they're inferior. If we're going to change them, okay, want them to last for a long time, I think we should get better ones.
This A&K is a manufacturer over in Sarasota. I did my homework. Now what you're trying to do is pick me apart. When I suggested this thing last February, and we told you what we were going to do, nobody raised their hand as far as coming together and saying, hey, can I help you? Can I go with you? And now that we're at the finish, we're basically at the 1 yard line trying to block.
So Bill, with due respect, okay, I'm not trying to pick you apart, because if I was trying to pick you
Well, you
apart,
told me
believe
the
me, I would
chairs
pick
were
you apart.
atrocious, is what you said
Okay.
in the email.
I asked for reconsideration on those chairs, and Mark and Scott are well aware of that. You're not.
Yes, I
So
have.
that's why I'm asking them the
Let me
question.
ask you a question, Michael. What chair would you suggest that you put on the beach if you don't go with a strap chair?
There are better quality chairs if we're going to be changing the
You
chairs.
say a better quality. I asked you a question again. What quality chair are you talking about? Is it a sling chair or a strap chair? I'm only asking that question. Don't say better quality. You got to have a material.
Well, if you go over to Lux Outdoor Living, which is fiber built, you can see they have various different ones. Do you want me to specifically? I can send you a picture. I have a picture of most of them.
All right. The sling chairs on the pool that you bought, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago, they were $800 chairs. They're not recommended for the beach. Now, I also bought telescope sling chairs myself personally for home. They were $1,200. Do you want to spend $1,200 or do you want to spend $300 for the beach, where they will take the wind, will take the weather, will take the abuse, and they'll keep coming back for more? I'm asking you that question.
Well, it seems like it's fait accompli here, Bill, because you can't respond to questions that others may have. Okay, like you don't own this. Okay, it's 370 people that own it. So you know what? I'm asking questions, and if the answer is no, that's what it is. Okay, Mark and Scott did not get back to me, so I'm asking the questions on it. So it's not about you, Bill. It's about Mark and Scott that never got back to me. And was there a reconsideration on those chairs? For other ones, I also asked the question about. I also asked the question about the armchairs. Okay, on the beach. So we're doing things half-assed as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to do the lounge chairs, but we're not going to do the armchairs. Okay.
The armchairs, you realize the weight on the armchairs? These chairs are only 28 pounds.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Do you want me to repeat the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we have a motion by Alex Vaccaro. Alex, and seconded by.
Mike.
Oh, all right.
We have a motion by Alex McAllis and seconded by Bill Valerio to order 100 chaise lounges, the basket weave strap chaise lounges in color blue. So Alex brought it, Bill seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
No.
No.
Yeah, Roseanne.
Roseanne, no.
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward, old business, in prior meetings, there was discussions about balcony gate and step access for the first floor units. We did, since then, receive a letter with council letterhead. So it was brought to PDS's attorney. So therefore, we will not be speaking about that topic in an open board meeting, as it is with legal currently, and we're waiting for a response from legal. So this will be tabled.
Table, I agree.
Okay. New business, wheelchairs at parking. So Scott, if you want to add a little color to this.
Yeah. There was a request to allow residents who park along the walls to be able to keep a wheelchair in front of their parking space, just like we allow for bikes. So I was hoping to have this on the agenda to, did it get approval by the board for the committee just to update the current rule we have to allow for a wheelchair to be placed in front of a parking space?
I have no.
I don't have any.
So we want to have a motion to approve the ability to have wheelchairs at a parking spot and to be able to make the appropriate documentation updates.
Do we want to register them? Because
Yeah. So as a motion.
I make the motion.
Okay.
I will second.
Okay. So it's open now for discussion.
Are we going to have folding wheelchairs?
We could make it into a requirement based on the
I
documentation,
think
sure.
at least if it's folding wheelchairs,
Yeah, I mean, and to be quite honest, I don't see a whole lot of wheelchairs going in front of parking spaces.
Yeah, but folding should be it, and I think Barbara had a good point about, just a recommendation from a registration and insight perspective for the association, so we're aware.
Okay.
what about compassion?
I agree.
Any, is that it for the board?
If you put it in a wall, right?
So, yeah,
Not anywhere else.
Right.
No.
Not on the
wall, in the parking spots.
in front of their parking middle spots then.
Your parking spot.
Yeah, I guess, it's,
Scott-
it's the people that have spots in the middle that are not against the wall. What they're asking is, can they put their wheelchairs or leave it in their parking spot once they move their car or in front of their spot? Because it's not really fair, in my opinion. If I don't have a wall spot and I have a wheelchair, that means I can't use a wheelchair. So we have to accommodate those.
As need basis, like if someone has a need for
Exactly.
that, because otherwise we're gonna get everyone leaving their carts there. I mean, already we have a problem with
Well,
shopping
we're
carts.
defining it as
A wheelchair.
foldable wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah, I think we need to accommodate. I mean, I don't think we have many people. I mean, if they do have a wheelchair, they should let us.
Might as well be everywhere.
Yeah, so I think the point is, better defined against the wall, there's not an egress or ingress. But if you are, in an open spot, not against the wall, that you put the, wheelchair, over the curb, so it is in your spot, so it's not, impeding on anybody's walkway there.
I think are we all in agreement?
That's good,
Like,
yes.
Maybe just like register and have it open to anybody.
Yep, and this would be the whole point is we would be voting on this being in the document.
Yeah.
The rules and regulations.
Rules committee to update our current rules.
Wheelchairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve?
We don't have a rule.
Yeah, we don't have.
There
a
is
rule.
none.
So,
We have to update it, adding this into it.
Hi, Steve Ferguson, 602. So I think the easiest way to take care of that, of anybody that has a wheelchair that wouldn't be against a wall, would be to do just to make things fair. It should be a reasonable accommodation request. If they make a reasonable accommodation, if they come to there and they say, we have that, but this shouldn't be just about storing some wheelchair somewhere.
Right.
You know, it needs to be, if someone has a need for it, then they should just come to the office, make a reasonable accommodation, and we'll be more than happy to grant reasonable accommodation. And, you know, we can add that to the rules.
Yeah, very good.
Without any problem, but I think it needs to be a reasonable accommodation, so, you know.
In other words, not create dust, not sit there for.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not their authority.
it needs to be, somebody needs to have to use it. It
Active
shouldn't be there for, yes, active use. It shouldn't be there just for storage.
Right, but you could define that within the rules and regulations.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Okay,
Good idea.
any other questions or comments? So Al, looks like your hand is up. You want to unmute yourself? Going once,
Al, you unmuted yourself and then you mute it again.
you're muted. All right, is there anybody else before we try one more time with Al? Okay,
Okay, so we have a motion by Alex Bacalus to allow the parking spaces along the wall and anywhere, actually, we just said, in the garage, we will change
for,
this language.
for active use.
For active use of a wheelchair and to, register the response with the office, their need with the office. And to have the Rules and Regulations Committee draft a draft how that should work and put that into the rules and regulations. Barb Savali seconded it. We'll go for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Good.
Next, new business, doorbell cameras, also for, rules and regulations. do I have a motion to approve the ability to have ring-type doorbell cameras by individual unit owners?
Is there,
So I think it's for open discussion.
okay.
Yeah, right. Is there someone was saying to me that this might not be allowable, because of the privacy of other folks. And, so I'm just wondering if anybody has any
Motion
information.
to open it up.
Okay, I'm gonna,
So a motion to have it to
anyone
about,
want a motion?
yep,
Second.
all right.
Oh, shoot.
So
All
open it
right,
up.
so now let's talk.
Yep.
Can somebody please enlighten me on what the rules are of doorbells? If anyone knows that, because I do that now in the building. Anyone have that
Scott can
information?
note that.
So I've spoken with Donna about this, and she said it's basically a board decision if you want to allow cameras or not. I know offhand, I mean, this isn't the exact figure, but I know just by thinking in my head of at least 5, 6 units that have them. It's just the board has to have a policy in place to allow for cameras here. But yeah, Donna said that it's a board decision.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would think as long as it's by their front door and it's not 5 feet off where it's impeding on any privacy, it's where the doorbell would wind up being. So I consider this like, whether you live in a separate home or in a condo or an apartment, to me, it's no different.
No problem.
But I think it would just have to be added to, the rules and regulations on that it has to be in the location of
Doorbell.
by the doorbell.
Yeah.
The ring camera needs power. It won't work without any power.
No, Steve. Just pay attention to what we're saying.
So,
Send them an email.
any other points from the board before we open it up?
Nope.
Okay, so, I think, there's a Trish has her
Yeah, that's
hand
me.
raised. Yep.
Yeah, 1410. So I just want to let you know, because I'm on the wing. And my neighbor across the hall does have a ring camera. She actually asked us if we would be okay with her putting it in, because it does record conversations and people walking in and out of your apartment. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. I would think that on the wings, the people would should get the okay from the person that's across the hall from them to have a camera installed in that hallway, because it could be, privacy issues, but we don't have an issue with it, but I'm just saying in general.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but all the other units from like even,
Of course, for everybody.
the 1 and 17s, are they across just like the 4s? And
They are.
So they're all the same, I think,
Yeah.
at this
The 6
point,
and
right?
7 are
There's no-
across, the 1 to
Yeah, they're no
17,
different.
and then 10 and 11.
What's putting them in? Are these things hardwired to the doorbells?
Yeah, you need.
Or are they?
Yeah, they are.
They're in from Bluetooth?
It's low voltage.
Yeah.
I have one at home and it's battery powered.
Yeah.
People also have battery
Yeah.
powered, so you can put it right by the doorbell.
Or low voltage.
Well, it really doesn't affect the people in the middle, because if I put one outside my unit, I'm only gonna see right across my hall. I don't see down the hall like the 1 and 17 lines, not the wings, they get to see down the hall. So for the people in the middle, it's pretty much useless to put. My suggestion, and it has been since 2018, is that we really need a camera, because we really don't have security on the floors. That's why people want ring bells, and to see who they don't want to let in. But I've said this in 2018, that there should be a camera outside each elevator on the floor, right above the elevators, right on the ceiling. The camera will see east, west, elevator, service elevator. In the event there's a robbery or something else that happens in the building, we would be able to identify who's on the floor. Having a ring camera does not help everybody else.
So I think that would certainly have to go to legal to confirm. I don't know if we would be voting on that.
It's just cameras. It's just,
Yeah.
we would have to put a camera on each floor so that we can have security, not only on the first floor, but throughout the entire building. If somebody's making an allegation that they got robbed and, there's no cameras on the floor, I mean, anybody can come up with anything and file a suit. Not on the floors.
I understand, but I'm
If
just
somebody
saying, do we have to
falls,
go?
or if something happens, if somebody makes an allegation, or if somebody gets hurt, if somebody falls, you'd be able to see down the hall. It's a little bit more safety behind instead of just a doorbell.
Yeah, I think there's 2 points, right? Obviously, getting estimates for that, and second thing is just running it by legal.
Yeah, sure. See what happens.
So we're not gonna resolve that today, but maybe something.
I'm just saying that's a good way to resolve the Ring doorbell.
See that the hallways are common areas. So this way here, everybody's protected.
Right. So we're gonna table this?
That's what we're gonna do. We're going to seek legal.
On
On the cameras, not
I
on,
think
not
the
on the
doorbells,
doorbell.
that's a $100 problem individuals.
It doesn't help you.
I think there's a,
We got a hand.
we got a hand, but we also have
Kathy's been
somebody.
here.
So
Kathy's been
Kathy's,
here. No, no, yeah.
Joe?
Joe Stefani, Unit 1601. Thank you for your kind remarks. It's very nice. I just want to share a story with you. About 13 years ago, okay, burglarized. Stole $75,000 worth of my jewelry. And in the building I was in, their cameras are ready in the elevator. Wasn't here. However, there were no cameras down the hallway, every direction. Bottom line is this. We could see the person getting off the elevator at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was pretty obvious. When I was robbed, I can prove the time. When the police were there, the outcome was there was no picture of somebody going to my door. So they couldn't prosecute the person. And they knew that somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning got out of the elevator and went towards my condo and robbed me. I was burglarized. Excuse me, okay? So since then, and unless it's against the law, I fully intend to have a ring so I know who comes to my door, especially when people come at times at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm retired. I don't want to be waking up at 8:30 in the morning. And maybe some of you are also retired or don't like it. So I have nothing to hide. I have a ring in front of my door. And I don't use it for anything other than I don't even use it for communication. I just want to know who's at my front door. And you can understand why, because I was burglarized and I did lose $75,000 worth of my personal jewelry. And then it goes beyond that, which I will share with you another time. But I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more comments or questions? I think. And then
we have Kathy.
And then we have Kathy.
I'm just gonna say, we're in 402 and we aren't here a lot. We're 6 months of the year, we're not here. So we put a Ring camera in so that we would see if anybody's coming and going from our apartment. We're not there. It's a safety issue.
I'm here from the mind.
That's why those cameras.
I have no issue with the ring. The thing is, it shouldn't be going down the hallway. My neighbor across the street, her ring, the way the walls are, it goes across. Like, in other words, the ring should be facing the wall as somebody walks through their door and everything. And if you're gonna make a rule about that, you have to have what the rule is and how it should be. I don't want anybody's, I might come in and out of my apartment 5 times, 6 times, you know.
Putting a ring on our door.
Yeah, you wanna know if I'm going to the casino or not. Okay, so, you know, but there should be rules, and because if you're infringing on people's privacy.
Any other comments or questions?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have
we'll
my
get-
hand
yeah,
up.
Barbara, we could get. Go ahead, Barbara.
So I have a Ring bell. However, I don't pay to have it recording. So it only shows me who's at my door when my bell rings. It does not show me when anyone walks out of the elevator or walks into the apartment across the hall from me. It doesn't record their conversations.
Okay.
So that way you still see who comes to your door, but you're not interfering in the privacy of your neighbors.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, and then I think we have one more online.
So just as a matter of common areas, like Bill said, we just wanted to make sure that if we're going to allow those Ring cameras, they really need to be where the doorbell is.
Right.
It should not be anywhere else. That's the only place it should be, because once you get out past there, any kind of wall or anything down the hallway, then you get into the common area.
Where the ring is.
Parallel.
Yeah, so it needs to be right there, right where the doorbell is right now, so that there's nothing else gets added.
Yep. Mike DeGasperis?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. The one that's directly across the hall from me is a Ring camera, and the way it's positioned is pointed directly at my unit. I have a problem with that. That's a privacy issue, and therefore I would like it moved, turned, so that it's not pointing at my door. So there needs to be a policy on that. The camera that I have will only, it's called the Control 4, that will only go on when somebody rings the doorbell.
But right, good point.
They have them all. Yeah, when someone
There's
comes
a
to the
motion,
door.
motion sensor.
The ones that go in the door, go in
Yeah,
the peephole.
it's a
They have,
motion
they
sensor.
have, they have Ring cameras that go in the peephole inside your unit, so you can just see out.
That's
So
not,
maybe we should, you
that's not
know,
a problem, that's your property.
right, I have a camera.
Sorry, Alex, with respect, the ones outside of the doors are not our individual properties. That's a hallway. That's a common area, right? All I'm saying is that there needs to be a policy because that one is pointed directly at me and they need to change the angle of the dangle.
How are you gonna monitor that?
So,
How do you monitor?
so is that visually across, where the doorbell would be on their unit, almost right, straight across with your unit, Mike? Or is it?
Yes, but they have a bracket that's basically on a 45-degree angle,
Oh, yeah.
which points directly at my unit.
Right.
No, it's got to turn the other way.
Right, that has to be turned the other way. It has to be straight parallel with the door. That would resolve your concern as well, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, to the point, I think we have to, and certainly, with board's approval, have this go back to the document and rules committee to define exactly the placement of that. But I would foresee that to be directly like for like, similar to where the doorbell would be on the door facing straight with no angle to it at that point.
Without any continuous filming.
No, they do, they have
How do you
motion,
monitor
they're
it?
motion.
Yeah,
How are
you
you gonna
can't
monitor
monitor
it?
that.
What about recording?
How are you gonna monitor?
It's like Barbara said, you have a certain type of camera, you can't have a recording.
Come on, Brooke.
I'm a little bit surprised how we always lunge towards these things. For example, Donna Berger actually has a whole article about this on her website. I don't think she charges us to look at it. And to the point of what we can and can't regulate, this is what Donna Berger wrote. She wrote that, let me go find it here. Anyway, she wrote she wrote, however, I would limit that approval to doorbell video only. So it sounds like we can regulate video only versus video plus audio and make the installation of additional cameras dependent, blah, blah, blah. But I strongly agree with Mike. I think there is this issue of aiming it that really needs to be addressed. For example, in my unit, 2814 and crossed with my friendly neighbor in 2804. I could install one of these. I want to listen to the audio. I could put it's continuously doing the video. And even if I put it in the motion sensor mode, I could literally, every time that they step outside their door, I'm getting a picture of them. I'm looking inside of their unit, across all the way to through their living room. We can figure out who they're having come, who they're having go. I mean, there's just a lot of privacy issues with that. And I really just am always surprised at how we lunge into these things without, but anyways, we lunged, so we're in the pool. Thank you.
Table it?
Yeah.
I would.
Can we get more information?
We can't really stop it, can we?
Yeah, I don't think we could.
It's a board thing, but why don't we just, like Denise had said,
But I think we have, just 1 second. I think we have
Mike,
enough.
Well, your glasses,
No, what I'm learning is that, and that they have to be directed in a certain way so that we're not picking up certain things. So that would be something that we have to talk about, to draft in a motion or put in the rules so that people know that if they're, okay, we'll allow them, but they have to be, pointed in a certain way or, put it, on the doorbell. I just don't think we're ready to do that.
Correct, I agree.
And I was still looking.
Could I say something?
Hold on, there was,
I would still take a look at what the cost would be, so that we put in the common areas. They're worried about being robbed or whatever. As soon as they come off the elevator, the camera's pointing right down the hall.
I think,
So
Bill,
everybody's.
this is like apples and oranges. We're talking about ring doorbells and something else.
That's totally different. In the stack, in one stack at least, okay, in 17, our doorbells are on the wall. They're not in front of you. Like, do understand, if it was in front of you, you're gonna see the other apartment on the other side. Not my aim. My aim is I just want to see who's at my front door. I can understand you restricting it, say, you can't, I don't know, you can't record it, okay? I know that's not my purpose. My purpose is that if I get robbed, okay, or burglarized again, I want proof of who came to my door. And I sued for that, and I won. So I'm just letting you know, if I'm restricted or I can't do this, it's not against the law. If I'm restricted, I won't stop at any cost. I am not getting burglarized again. Well, that was a nightmare
I
for
think
me.
we should note the threat.
I just letting you know, you can go back to the building, you can say, I won. Okay? Not in the mood of suing anybody. That's not my purpose, have no ambition of doing that. All I'm saying is I want my security, and I want to know who comes to my door. That's all. So, and I can't put it on the wall, on the door, because there's not enough room. It's on the side wall, at least there's one step. Just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
well, thank you.
So you know, as soon as you walk in my front door, you're picked up on a camera. If you walk into the kitchen, you're picked up on a camera. You walk into the second bedroom, you're picked up on a camera. You walk into the master bathroom, you're picked up on a camera. So once they come through the door, if you have cameras inside, they're gonna be picked up.
So why don't we, to that point, I think there's still.
Donna requested that the board pass a resolution on this. So why don't we get with Donna and say, yes, the board does want to approve the doorbell ring cameras, put together your resolution, to give her our list of concerns about aiming in other people's units and whatnot, and have her write into that resolution.
Order of this, I think that she needs to, if we're,
I'm sorry, I think that if you can hear that we're okay with this, we just want to, you can't have a motion and then go back to her and say no. And then she tells us, no, you can't word it like that. I mean, we all seem to be in agreement, but we just don't understand what we can say and what we can't say with this motion.
She's gonna be drafting that.
Yeah,
She would be drafting a resolution, so.
So we want to approve it, get it into the, document and rules, and, finalize it and let her, make the final pass at what that would look like.
Just don't want to infringe on other people's privacy. That's our major concern.
No, I just saw this a couple of days ago, this doorbell. I didn't know much about it.
Me neither. Does Kathy know that?
So, I don't want to, draft a rule for this and then have it go to legal and have it be something completely different. That's sort of, a waste of time. So if we're gonna send it to the lawyer, and if we should do that first, and then we'll write the rule based on whatever she says.
And Scott, you can take the feedback based on some of the concerns, that occurred and let, Donna word it accordingly for us. So it can be.
As the motion was written, motion by so-and-so.
All right, do you want me to restate it?
So the motion that I had drafted was motion to have the association's attorney draft a board resolution allowing residents to install doorbell cameras.
Okay, sorry.
Should be the motion.
Okay, so, Mark motioned, Alex seconded.
Can I talk, please? I've been waiting to talk again before you do a motion.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say again, I honestly, my opinion, like what happened to us, I think the unit owner across the hall from the person who wants to put the camera in should get the okay from the person across the hall from them. And that shouldn't be a problem. If it's only recording or viewing directly across the hall from the doorbell, then it's only affecting the person across the hall, like it does in the staff, on the wings.
Yep. And Scott will relay to legal some of the comments and questions, so legal can refine it accordingly for our association based on the voice of opinion as well. So your point will be taken into consideration for Donna.
I'm grateful that there's a camera there, to be honest with you, because we're not there all the time.
Sidewall, like 1 and 7.
Yeah, so there are sidewalls, so wings could have it maybe on the sidewall, so it doesn't impede on the privacy of the unit owner across. I'm sure this is not the first time for legal counsel to refine something like a doorbell, because I think it's very common from a technology perspective. So I think the thought is to, continue to go with modernization and for the safety of some, the owners, but word it in a way that works for the association. Okay. Scott, you want to repeat your motion again?
So the motion was to have the association's attorney draft a board resolution allowing residents to install doorbell cameras.
Yep.
So Mark, you.
Yep. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Somewhere.
I got her.
Perfect.
Heard you this time.
Okay, ratifying the board resolution on reserve interest. Pull that up here.
On the speaker, you want?
You want to?
Yeah, at the Finance and Insurance Committee, we've been, especially Sandra Roy, she's been working closely with the accountant department at First Residentials. And, we just, prior to having separate accounts for the Sears and non-Sears reserves, everything was commingled. So now we're just trying to get the balances right. We have separate accounts. So this is just one last adjustment that we need to do to get the final balances to where they should be. The transition has been, we've been struggling with trying to communicate properly and trying to get them to move, to allocate the differences, the different balances in the reserve and the interest that accrued. So this is, I recommend that we just okay and ratify this resolution.
So there's a motion to to ratify and allocate the accumulated interest related to reserve funds from Sears and non-Sears, splitting those values for pooled Sears reserves being 173,689 and pooled non-Sears reserves being 125,933 proportionally. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any more questions or comments from the board before I open it up to the association?
Is there a second?
No, we haven't even motioned.
He
He was just reading the motion.
Yeah. And there's going to be,
Heskey said for approval.
yeah, for approval.
So he motioned it, I'll second it.
Yeah.
All right.
And now open it up for the association. Any questions on that? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Will the social committee get some of this money?
Yeah.
They should get it all. That's why Lynn's front and center.
Sandy, you still with
Right, Lynn? Lynn, you want it all?
Lynn, you want it all? It's 300,000. No?
Okay, moving along, we have an impact glass amendment as well. Do I have a motion to approve the impact glass amendment as a new rule that has been provided to the association?
No, we're not doing approval yet. This is pretty much the intent of this right now is to give notice to the association that we do have an amendment drafted to require unit owners to have impact glass windows and doors in their units. The amendment will require a unit owner vote for approval. We're not approving the amendment yet at this meeting.
To go out for vote.
Yes, we're not approving it yet to go out to vote. We're just giving the association notice that this is what we are going to be doing. We're currently surveying all of the units to find out who doesn't have impact glass. And they'll all be notified in advance by the management office that they're going to fall into the category of, if this amendment passes, you're going to be required to install impact glass in your unit.
Okay.
Let's hear that.
So the notice, yes, so the motion is notice to given the unit owners that a window survey will be conducted, and those who do not have impact window doors will be notified by management, and the board will approve the amendment, and it'll go out to a unit owner vote after the survey has been completed. Okay,
I have a question that has.
so please come to the.
Hi, I'm Reva from apartment 1111. There seems to be an apartment on the 14th floor of the tower that has had wood on their window, I think for over a year. Okay, that is not even a hurricane impact window or non-hurricane impact window, but how could we allow that to have been there through hurricane season? We've been very lucky, and I hope we'll continue to be lucky, but that is scary to be sitting on my balcony or looking out my window and seeing that.
So yes, that wood was installed this past winter while they were doing concrete restoration. The window did have to come out for concrete restoration to be performed at that unit. It was an older window and it was not able to be properly installed back into the opening. Therefore, they did board it up for protection. The unit owner is currently going through the approval process and packet everything to have his is his whole unit going to be done, Isabella, or is it just that one window? You remember? Okay, but anyways, he is going through the process to have an impact window installed there.
But why so long?
He has traveled a lot. He has not been here.
Yeah, he's trying to do stuff while he's overseas, and so it is being worked on. Yes, it's not being left alone.
Okay.
Problem.
There's a few hands up.
Okay, I think there's a few hands up. Let's take the first one, Todd.
Sorry to throw a fly in the ointment, but we've lived here about 10 years, and I believe shortly before we moved in, the building already passed a resolution requiring everyone to purchase impact windows. Maybe people who have lived here longer than I recall that, or maybe there is. I'm sorry, Mark, I'm not finished talking. I'm sorry, if I can finish. But rather than pass a new resolution, I think you'll find all you have to do is enforce the previous one.
The previous one was a recommendation to have impact windows installed, or if you didn't do that, you were required to put a shutter system in.
Okay, all right, I got you. So now you're exploring making everyone, the few units that don't have it would be required to get it. I understand. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Yep. Thank you. Anybody else? I think there's a Trish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Scott, when are you gonna let the people who this involves with know by the date? I know I've asked like a couple of times, past couple of board meetings. Like the list of people that you have, when are they getting notified that this is gonna affect them?
Before October's meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So the motion was notice was given to the unit owners that a window survey will be conducted. They will be provided also insight before the October meeting, and those who do not have impact window doors will be notified by management. The board will approve the amendment and will go out to the unit owner vote after the survey has been completed. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 There's a hand up to get the gas prices.
Oh,
Mark, just a quick question. How do you enforce it?
well, we're gonna, that'll be the next step with legal on what that may look like. But Scott, I think you have some.
Yes, there would be, the amendment calls for a special assessment to the association. Anybody that already does have impact windows installed would receive a credit. Obviously, that would mean they would not be billed. And it would be the unit owners that don't have impact windows would be assessed, yes.
So they pay a special assessment, right? So I would suggest that, Scott, when you speak to legal, that gets put right into the letter.
Yes, it is written right in the amendment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay. Did you record that? Got it?
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, so,
Who put the motion through and who seconded it? That's what I don't have.
do I have a motion?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll-
okay, so Bill and Denise.
Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving along, based on the, document rules committee, pet amendment, do I have a motion for, each unit? And we're gonna, work through the X amount of pets, each weighing X, pounds. This information would be provided to the association's attorney so the pet amendment can be finalized. So this is open for discussion on, the number of pets and the rate restrictions we'd be looking for as an association. Do I have a motion?
No motion.
No.
Discussion.
You guys got to come up with the amount of pets and the weight restrictions,
Thought it was gonna be for an open discussion, right, as a motion to
but you can't have a motion with those answers.
discussion first. Got it. Okay, I would think one is limiting. My thought is two.
2 at 20?
25 pounds.
Nice.
I'd say 40. You know, I've had a dog that was a very small petite dog.
Right here, 45.
So, older buildings do have lower limits and, but the newer buildings do not. The newer buildings have, I just put someone in a building that they allow 2 dogs, each pet could be 50 pounds. And, or, well, of course, they could have cats or fish.
Or
but,
a cat 50 pounds.
Yeah, but, anyhow, the weight limit for a pet was 50 pounds each. The old buildings and all of us that are in industry sitting in this room know that, they were 1 or 2 pets, limited to 25 pounds. So, I'm just a little, because we're getting a lot of younger people in the building and, our lifestyles have changed. A lot of people do have, their loved ones. And, and I just think it's very limiting if we don't have a higher weight limit on it. But I am in agreement with Mark, 2 pets.
2 pets, 50 pounds. I was saying 40,
50
but
pounds each.
Yeah.
And then when they gain weight, they're 75 pounds. They're gonna look like,
Well, Labrador weighs pounds.
that friendly building. I really don't.
Certificate, and a lot of buildings are asking for DNA, if you can believe that. But, you have to have a pet certificate. You get it every year, updated. It's weight, shots, and everything else.
I would go with 20 to 25 pounds. I think, Roseanne sent us something that Playa del Mar, 20 to 25 pounds, 1 to 2 pets is fine. I just think that you get a 25-pound or 40-pound dog,
We have those pets in the building now, and we're a no pet building. And so I'm like, how do we restrict it? It's like, it blows my mind. I'm like, how can we do this? I mean, every time I see the big dogs in this building, I'm like, you can't have a smaller limit.
Well, that's why we're having this conversation, so we can open it up We can make the owners vote. If it is a pet-friendly building, we can put rules and we can get some kind of order here. If not, it's just haphazard. I mean, I get in the elevator also. Some of the dogs look like giraffes. You know, but you also have to be mindful that we have to tailor what dogs are not allowed in the building. I mean, you can't have pit bulls in the building. I think it's no women.
Lockjaw.
Standard language, Donna writes in the amendment.
Yeah, non-aggressive, lockjaw.
I think
There's a
50
list
pounds
of
is
dogs.
there. I mean, what
Anything
does a
but a
Cocker
Chihuahua.
Spaniel weigh?
Cocker Spaniel? They don't weigh no 50 pounds.
And it goes back to mother-in-law.
Oh, no, Cocker Spaniel's 25 pounds.
My Maltese.
So there's a lot of hands going up. I think there's one here. Joe?
I don't know what 25 pounds.
Kathy, you need to.
Like a bowling ball. My bowling ball is 16.
25 pounds.
Just on the 1601. I just want to share something with you. During the 5 years I was president, okay? I've met with 3 different attorneys, state attorneys, all kinds of attorneys. I have no problems with it being a pet-friendly building. You can bring in pet, problem, I can care less. I love them. And children. Anyway, I want to share what happened every time we went to the attorneys. Being a pet-friendly building has nothing to do with those people that have emotional pets. Nothing. So you can put all the rules you want for anything, but the people that have emotional pets right now, you can't tell them anything.
Right, that's right.
Anything. So I'm just letting you know.
We know that.
We know that.
You can't change those people. I mean, I love dogs.
They're not pets. Those ESAs are not pets.
Right.
You know, so you can't limit them. But what
So
all
we're
we're
just
doing.
gonna restrict the new people.
No.
That's what
Bring regular
pets. We're gonna have a pet rule, right?
I'm just sharing with you my experience in 5 years.
Yeah.
3 attorneys. Okay?
We've talked about it, thanks.
Thank you so much. I make it a pet friendly until we have no problem.
Kathy, you need to like.
You got a dog, you wouldn't have got robbed.
Yeah, but up and down. Okay. I love pets, and again, I think it should be a pet-friendly building, okay? Me personally, I think it should be 1 in 25 pounds, period, okay? But it's not up for you 7 to make that decision, and you should be sending a survey out to owners and get their opinion on what they think. If it should be 1 pet, 2 pets, and the limits on the weights. 7 people cannot make up a decision for 370 units, okay? You need to send the survey out first. And no, you didn't. When did you do it?
For pet friendly.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Maybe take
And what were the results of that?
Yeah.
When did you do it? A couple of months ago?
It was there.
Joanne time. Joanne time.
When was that?
Joanne time.
Yeah, Joanne.
That was a year and a half ago. Do you know how many new owners we have in this building since then?
Oh,
Okay, so you need to send an updated survey out and let the owners tell you, and then you guys can make a decision according to whatever the ranking is. And then isn't that a change of bylaw that it has to go to owners to vote? It's not up to you to vote.
Correct.
Okay, so you should send another survey out, because me thinking 2 people, and the experience is in the real estate, people you say no more than 40 pounds, okay? They buy a puppy that's 40 pounds that ends up being 90 pounds. Okay, so I want you to understand the guideline. It's never gonna be 25 pounds. They're gonna buy a little puppy. It's gonna weigh 2.5 pounds, and by the time it's done.
I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, so if you set a high limit of 40, and then emotional support animals and everything, that is what it is, okay?
So that's why the buildings put in their rules that you get every year, a vet certificate, weighing your dog, that they have their shots, blah, blah, blah. That's how you control it.
I tell Betzner 917. As a dog owner for, oh my goodness, probably 16 or 17 years, I've lived in this building for 21. And I have sent multiple letters. So those of you who know me, I've had this conversation, including with Steve and anybody else whose ear I can get. We need an area on premise that is safe and clean for our pets. And it's not just for them, because who knows what they're picking up across the street. It's for those of us who also have to stand there in that disgusting grass that's often infested with who knows what. And by the way, they did not cut the grass across the street for 6 weeks. In fact, I think I spoke to Isabella or Kara about it. I contacted the city personally 3 times. And I will say they got right back to me, but it took them 2 weeks before they actually cut the grass. It cost me about $250 at the vet because my little dog had so many bites on her that she was just chewing herself. So that's, you all decide. I agree with Kathy. Put it out to the owners as far as, do they want to be pet friendly, not pet friendly? You can't keep ESAs out. You know, we've got a wonderful German Shepherd that I love. I also see golden retrievers. We've had boxers here. We've had pit bulls here, by the way. So, you know, we need a pet place for our dogs that is safe and safe for us so that we don't go out at night across the street. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. One more.
I think people are confusing survey questions with the questions that we want to ask to owners. I think that's what's happening. You know, we did send a survey out a couple of years ago, which was an informal thing, just to get the temperature of the building about what people wanted. A majority of the people that actually responded was for a pet-friendly building. However, that number didn't come anywhere close to the number that's needed for the whole building to vote that we're actually going to have a pet-friendly building. So I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, trying to decide whether we're going to have 2 pets, how many pounds are going to be if we don't even get the owners to agree that we want to have a pet-friendly building. So you still have to have, what, 186 votes before we even get to the point where we need to even be having this discussion. So it's, you know, so I mean, like the survey was already out. This is an owner vote situation at this point. And then after that, we might be looking at getting a survey that says, you know, how many do you think, and then how much weight do you think it's going to be? But I just think that we're putting the cart in front of the horse.
Yep. So that yes, that information should be written into the amendment. The weight restrictions, the pet restrictions, I mean, the amount of pets per unit, just like having the non-dangerous breeds in the amendment. What the rules are going to be is, okay, you have to take your pet down to the lowest floor and take them out through the lower garage. Yes, you have to pick up your dog waste after you. The actual meat and bones of the information needs to be in the amendment.
What I think Steve is saying is that we're gonna spend money with the attorney to write the, amendment.
It's like.
And, right, if we don't get 187, 86, 87, it's a moot point. I mean, so.
That's the same as every amendment.
It's the same thing. It is at that point finalized this for owner voting.
Correct.
When you say, Scott, take them out through the lower garage, are you saying that the dog owners have to use the 3 elevator?
No, the garage.
So those are gonna, though, that kind of stuff would be the additional rules, written in under pets. Take the freight elevator down the lowest floor, take the garage in and out, you know, we put the fob key on the outside of the garage. So unit owners have, 8 o'clock at night when the gate's down, they can still get in and out through the gate. Those would be the fine-tuned details of the pet rules and regulations.
No, the only reason why, I'm sorry, Steve, the only reason why I asked that, last night I was sitting out front of the foyer, and you see people bringing their dogs in and out through the front door.
Yeah. So
then you get on the elevators, the dog gets excited because it's around other people, they pee on the floor, and then they don't even have the guts enough to wipe up the floors.
Yeah.
And then you walk into it, that's not right.
So let me just get this straight. So what we're doing is we're actually asking the lawyers to come up with a whole pet rule thing, and then we're going to vote on that. The owners are going to vote on that. So it's going to come as a whole package. This is going to be the package. This is going to be basically the rules, other than the the procedure part of the rules.
The operation.
This is going to be what everybody's going to be voting on. So it's going to be a fully executed rule that the owners are going to be voted on. Is that what I'm understanding?
without the fine-tuned rules, but yes, the amendment will define the weight restriction of the pets, how many pets, no dangerous breeds, You have to be in the care, custody, and control of your pet at all times. All the normal, typical boilerplate language you would see in a set of condo docs that had pets, allowed from day one of a building.
Can I just ask one quick question? One last thing. So, do you, because it's, I think I've been asking for at least 2 years between all the letters. I remember talking to Joe Sclafani about this when he was president. Is there a timeline as to when we could look forward to having a safe area, a safe, clean area to take our pets out, our animals, our children out to go to the bathroom? Because having a date would be great.
Well, actually, I sent Scott an email about a couple of ideas, and he asked me to elaborate on it a little bit more and send it to the board to get some of the feedback to see what could possibly be done to maybe accommodate. So that was just done.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
I'll send that another email.
Thank you.
There's hands up.
There was a hand up, Todd and then Mike. Todd, unmute yourself.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Todd Brown again, 402. A couple of things. Some of you may know I spent almost 40 years as a trial attorney and an insurance defense attorney. Let me preface this by saying I personally think it's a good idea to have a pet-friendly building. I agree with many of the comments. Steve Ferguson correctly said, and so did Kathy, this is a change in the bylaws. It needs to be voted on by the association. I think it would be wise to present a fully developed bylaw change with all the rules articulated so people can vote and vote once and they know what they're voting on. But one of the things that we talked about were security cameras. We used to have some dogs in the building that would regularly go to the bathroom in elevators or stairwells or hallways. We weren't sure who they were. We think we know. Cameras would assist that. And one of the reasons I say that is because if I had a nickel for every lawsuit that I had to defend a condo association out of a dog case, going to the bathroom, someone slipping and falling, ruining carpets, ruining furniture, biting someone in the elevator, I still feel it would be a good idea to set the rules for a pet-friendly building. But you do need to take into consideration security cameras in stairwells and hallways for liability protection. You also have to think about, would this increase our insurance premiums? It might. Even if you do exclude what they call vicious dogs or dangerous dogs. Personally, I think 1 dog per unit, 25 pounds or less, would be great for an older building. But those are some of the considerations to think of. Again, security cameras throughout the property to protect the association from liability, and putting together a proposal that is ironclad and buttoned up and bowed. So when people vote on it, their questions are already answered. Thank you.
Thank you. One more hand there, Mike DeGasperis.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I think we're losing sight of the fundamental difference between true ESA animals versus pet friendly. This building has never been pet friendly in my 50 years, and I would vote against it being pet friendly. And if there's true certified ESAs, then that's one thing. If not, then yes, it doesn't go to the board here. It goes to the membership. It goes to all of the
we know that.
Yes.
residences, okay? And I will do my best to have it knocked down, okay? And it's not something that we're changing all of a sudden here. If they're ESAs, it's understood. I got one of my kids which is allergic to fur, to pets, to cats, to some dogs, not short hair, whatever. But so there's a lot of liabilities here. And next thing you know, if we start making it a pet-friendly building, we're gonna have a zoo. That's my view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You know, one other thing we need to consider is the beach. I know someone, well, maybe we could put it into the rule or have a rule that we own part of the beach. And dogs really shouldn't be off the leash on the beach. Just the other day, a friend of mine was coming up on the mat, right off the lip, and stepped right in dog poop. I mean, they're not even picking it up. I mean, it's right in front of our building. Maybe we should have a sign out there that says, you know, no dogs allowed on the beach. I know when they get past the point, we got to call Florida, the cops. But by the time the cops get here, they're not coming down this end to monitor. But maybe we can monitor our part of the beach so that they're not running all over and pooping.
So a lot of modern buildings, I lived in one before transitioning to Florida here. They do DNA testing.
They do the
You know, a $200 fee of urine or poop would go for a test, and the dog or animal who was found to have that DNA would incur that cost. So it is connected back to the person, which helps in the cleanup aspects here.
It happened in Walton Manor.
Yeah.
That's why I don't see nothing on the
Also
street.
goes back to look, I have pets at home. I don't have anything against pets, but you have to have rules and regulations as far as it goes. Have respect for other people who don't have pets. I'm one of the people who stepped into dog dirt outside because what they've done was they just pushed sand over top of it. You know what that's like, going through your toes?
Right. And this requires going to an owner vote, period.
Absolutely.
So, okay, one more, and then we're gonna continue to move.
You can have all the rules that you want about the pets, if they're not enforced, okay, they don't mean anything.
Right.
Okay, I was going out on the beach the other day, somebody came down with their dog, a friend of theirs was down the thing, she untied the dog, and the dog ran to her friends on the beach promenade. So you can have all the rules you want, but if the security and the building is not gonna enforce them and put fines in place if people aren't doing it, then you're wasting your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kathy, I totally agree with you there. If we have a new head of security, maybe he'd be able to do that.
Okay.
So are you guys deciding on?
So it's 1 or 2 dogs at 25?
In the number of pests.
So no amendment is being made.
Oh,
come on.
The sign on weight and a pet. We're gonna push it another month.
1 or 2?
Let's get it out and get this done with. It's been going on for years.
So make it 1 and 25,
I second.
like Todd recommended.
We haven't. No,
I-
brought the motion.
I'm on 25, 1 pet.
Gotta go to a vote.
Yeah, someone's got to,
I make a motion for 25 pounds.
thank you, Alex.
Yeah, so, Mike, it's updating, so it does go to the associations, so
One
it
pack.
can be drafted from an amendment.
25, 1 pet.
So what is it?
25 pounds per
Alex
pet.
did, and then Bill seconded. And, what did we decide on? 1 pet, 25 pets, is that what everyone's agreeing on?
I would go higher.
Check the DNA testing.
I would like to have, a higher weight, but I also would like to have, the pet
Speak on,
certificate.
Mike, use the mic so everybody can hear.
Yeah, I think that would be defined down there.
Okay, no, we're just doing the weight right now and the number of pets, and then definition or rules in terms of pet certificates and DNAs later,
Right,
right?
yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, so, Alex moved, Bill seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And we voted for 1 with 25 pounds, just to be clear,
I
right?
want the subject for the people who are looking for someplace for their dogs to go to the bathroom in a safe place.
We've talked about this
We need to-
before,
we
but
need
we
to
don't,
address this.
we don't have an agreement because we, thought that possibly, there were areas on the building that we could do. Rains, we need that organized. But when we talked about this during the waterproofing project and on B&G, when we were, talking it through, and we aren't at that point, where we're going into design and plans and things like that, where we can introduce that again. Alex is very aware of that. He was on the committee, so was Denise and you. So, you know, to your point, for the last 2 years, or we've been talking about this at least again. So, and I know they're making this improvement across the street. They're putting in electric chargers and they're changing the parking a little bit. So, that might take down some of the walking space for some of the residents too.
I mean, don't shoot me for saying this, but technically we're not even a pet-friendly building yet. So
Right.
to begin making accommodations for pets to go to the bathroom when we're not a pet-friendly
Right, we
building.
have to be a pet-friendly
But
building. I
you
guess.
can't, what's weird about that, not being pet friendly, but having ESAs, they can take their dogs anywhere on the property. And we can't, and if they take their dogs on the property to poop, then, there's nothing we can do about that.
They can't take them, they can bring them anywhere on the property, but they can't take them anywhere to use the bathroom.
I mean, can't we just find a place where you put some astroturf and it's just like, they have the pet relief areas.
We're talking about that,
Yeah, I mean, to make it designated places, I mean, we gotta put more thought into.
Yeah, we gotta put,
Well, at least continue to have that discussion.
yeah.
And, we can look on the north side, behind the upper north driveway, that we used that walkway when, they were doing the construction work. I mean, it is dangerous out there at night. We got homeless people. These people are out there. No, you can't yell. Who's gonna hear you? There's not a soul around. So the south side, I believe, has
That's drinks.
air conditioning or something on it. If that,
Both of them have a fan.
right,
Yeah.
but the fan on the north side is all the way at the end.
Yeah.
So, that you could up a fee just to make it accommodating. You could put a fob on the gate, and have somebody clean it. They can pay a fee and we have somebody clean it.
To become a pet-friendly building
I don't think
first.
so. You'll have 9,000, you'll have 300 pets out there. The area is small.
Put a fake fire hydrant there,
He's
so.
right. We've got to get
Don't
the
we have a
pet
hose
friendly
bid out there?
first, and then we'll just put it on the docket that we're,
Then
talking
the next
about
step
it.
are already done.
Because we can't do it till we have the.
Could be for the ESA.
I'm trying to think outside the box. If you put it up on the north, back in the parking lot,
Walkway there.
walkway,
Yeah.
can we put a hose bib in? There is,
There's
the
one-
dog
there's a
does
hose
number
bib, yeah.
2.
And there's a drain there.
There's a drain there. The dog does number 2. The owner has to pick it up and put it in its proper place. If the dog tinkles or pees, whatever you want to call it, you have the hose bib there, they wash it down. Until we get a designated spot and they can stop it.
Right.
So,
Okay. We have the motion. Alex, motion, Bill Valerio seconded, 1 pet, 25 pounds.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. And, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Present?
Have a starting point.
Thank you.
To work with it down.
It's a start, it's a start.
okay, we still have a few more.
They have a room where, and it's.
All right, the approval of the BDA, system,
Oh,
the proposal for Bass United.
why is that here?
Why is this not on the agenda?
It's got the draft.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't put the motion.
Baby,
So,
baby.
And,
It's on the agenda.
Yeah.
So, the motion to approve, Bass United and the, I have it right here, is, the final, so it's, the BDA is $188,998.30.
Right.
And this is, no surprise to the association, we are under, mandates to finalize these aspects, and I think it is, by the end of 2027. 2027. Yep, at the beginning. So we ultimately have, a year and 3 months to finalize.
On the clock.
On the clock, absolutely. So this was, with regards to Sharp, our project management team, put it out to bid. There are multiple bids, knowing that we have history with Bass United as well. We felt that this was, the best, option for us and to continue to move forward, with regards to the BDA.
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
Second?
Okay, and we'll open it up for board members. Anything?
So the BDA, was the only part of our budgets that we didn't have the money for. And is this part, I forgot, Heskey, is this part of the Sears or part of the?
Sears.
Okay, so we're just using the money out of the Sears.
Yeah.
Okay.
The BDA is not in either of them. It is not a reserved item, right?
It's not a Sears, it's not a Sears.
Reserved item. We didn't.
We're on pooled reserves, so it doesn't matter.
So the BDA is not a reserved item right now. It's not in the Sears or not Sears. So reserve funds would not be able to be used for this.
We're taking out the general budget.
It would need to be, yes.
Unless we approve it.
We'd have to have a new study done.
Yeah, we can't just put it in. It's their standards that they do the Sears.
This is part of the fire, this is part
Yeah,
of the
this
fire
is the
department.
Hello?
This is part of the fire department requirement, so I would consider this part of the fire alarm system.
No, it's not.
Hmm.
We found that out last year in the B&G.
But it has to be done.
Yes, we
are required.
required to do it. I understand that, but, Heskey has been telling us for a couple of years that we didn't have money for it, which we discussed in B&G last year.
Sure.
And we knew, and that's why we were going out for quote with us, so that we could make sure that we got the right numbers. And Mike Sisto, you know, he was very beneficial coming to the meetings and explaining the difference in, you know, who does this. And, we had, different quotes. We had 300,000, you know, we had people that didn't want to do the job. You know, it was a challenge to get the BDA in. But, you know, back to what I'm asking is the money's coming out of the general account then, right?
I don't have it budgeted. I was counting on it coming out of reserves.
Okay.
I mean, so if we have to do another reserve study and including it,
Yeah, I'm just wondering how we can do that.
That, okay,
Okay, so we have time to get that done so that we can get it paid. How long, when's it gonna start, Alex?
Sorry?
I'm sorry. When is that the BDA, going to start?
like January.
Do you approve it?
We have to get into a contract. They have to order supplies. It's gonna.
we're
it's gonna
not,
be a few
we're not in a
months out.
position to continue to go through. So what's the way that are there any options on how is it directly out of operating or not?
You can make it.
Just have our current reserve study updated, adding the BDA in it.
Okay.
It's not gonna.
It doesn't take that long.
It's correct.
Doesn't take that long, does it?
And then it adjusts our number. for,
Couple weeks.
Our reserve.
Well, it's
study.
only 4 weeks. Let's do it.
All right, let's do
All
it.
right, let's get
So
it
I
done.
think the motion is not to approve this, right?
No, let's get this.
To prove it, we'll figure out how to pay for it.
Okay,
And update the
reserve study.
reserve study at the same time.
Reserve study is from 2024, am I correct?
No, it was,
It was done in 2024, but dated for 2025.
right,
So it's like almost 2 years old.
Yeah,
yeah.
so, so,
Might be able to.
yep. So the motion is to approve, 100, BDA for Bass United with Siemens, Building Solutions for $188,998.30. With it being, included into the reserve study.
Right.
And the reserve study has extra money from the concrete restoration. We never use the contingency money in the concrete restoration.
Yeah, but that's from the special assessment account, so we can't really.
That either.
Can't use that either.
No.
So there's, so
We have to do a
recalculate.
new reserve study and include it.
You said it's gonna take a couple of weeks, so it's only until, before you know, it's gonna be the end of October.
Yeah.
So we approve it, so at least we can start, with the contract work. We can start drawing up the contract.
Right, get the contract going,
Yeah.
you're on the clock, but account for it within the reserve study so we could.
Right.
We can move.
Will you get in touch with Abe Mastery?
Yeah, do we want to put it in Sears or not Sears?
He'll tell us. I mean, everything else is in Sears, and I'm assuming it's coming out of Sears, so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really part of the fire alarm system.
Oh, here's the structural electrical.
Yeah, so non-Sears, right, from
It's
Playa.
downstairs. It's a fire department requirement.
Yeah, it's gotta be done.
I appreciate you correctly.
Thank you for thanking me.
Okay,
Can't wait.
Any more comments or questions from the board?
What about the fire, the
Well,
fire
we're
alarm
doing this
system?
one separately.
Okay.
Separately.
Okay, so this motion is to approve the contract for $188,088.30.
Yes.
Alex motion, I seconded.
Yep, we had conversations. I think we're opening up for those.
Discussion.
Open up for discussion. Look, is there a comment on this?
Good evening. I'd just like to point out, I'm not the only person who's spoken multiple times here. But it was interesting because earlier we were talking about the lounge chairs and somebody said, hey, you're coming in late at the game. You know, you should have been here earlier to bring your comments forth. And I just want to point out that I went to a finance, I've talked about the reserve study deficiencies and the poor alignment between the reserve study and how we were managing things. I've brought it up here at the board meetings. I attended the finance committee, and I brought it up, and my comments were just brushed to the aside. And now we're at a point where it's mission critical that the reserve study get fixed. So now we're going to, just on this one point of the reserve study, pay our consultants, the reserve study consultants, to fix this thing. Now, just point out, there are so many things wrong with the reserve study. I mean, Husky even brought up the poor alignment between what the reserve study was guiding us for the cooling towers and how that interacted with the roof. And I know that there are other people in this building, and I won't mention their names, who brought up that the reserve study is just poorly deficient for what it should be doing for this building. And I just feel like we just don't we don't try to do things cost efficiently. I brought, as I say, multiple people have brought up that it needs to be fixed. And so now we're at the last minute under the gun, throwing money back to the reserve study, and we're still going to end up with a grossly inadequate document. And I just wish that for the people who are the small people in the world, and quite frankly, I think there's some people on there who are the big people of the world, that we are concerned about money, and I wish we would behave that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brooke.
Thank you. Okay. There's no other comments. Those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Okay, the next part that commingles with the BDA is approving the fire alarm proposal with Bass United. And I am going to add here.
What if we just combine the two components into one contract? The BDA with the fire alarm.
I got that.
Then you could use it the way it is, the reserve study?
Yeah.
That's what I said before.
So I think, I mean, you know,
We could combine both of them.
That's what I said.
put it into one contract.
Well, then the reserve.
Component.
Well, there's one contract, but it's two separate parts. That's the way I would do it. One contract with
So
two
just
separate
call it
parts.
the fire alarm, you know.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just call it fire alarm, but
Yeah. It's part of the fire alarm
it's
system.
really part of the fire alarm. It's not
It is.
decorating.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't know we needed a BDA when we were
well,
talking about
it's a fire department requirements, it's part of the fire alarm system. So we found the money?
found the money.
Yeah, we found the money.
Okay, good.
All right, good.
I
Good job.
Scott, can you pull,
mean, we're still gonna do a reserve study early next
we
year.
have no choice. We need to do the reserve study. Go to the spreadsheet, right? Where's the
yeah.
spreadsheet?
Here, you want?
I got it. All right, go ahead and speak to it. I got it too.
In the corner.
All right, so for the fire alarm, the three proposals we got was,
Century.
yeah, Century 680,000, Mercom 946,200, and Bass United $436,998.30. So again, I believe the choice was going to be go with our current alarm provider, Bass United.
Which has significant savings as well between all of them. And we have a track record with Bass United.
Correct.
Yep.
I've got a motion.
So the motion to approve, Mass United and Luctco, for
No,
the.
Lutco's not involved.
Oh,
Not Lutco.
Just.
Just Mass United.
Directly. Mass United for the fire alarm being, $436,998.30. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I second that.
What's the motion? Heskey motion and Denise seconded. Any other comments or questions from the board? I think the numbers speak to themselves. I'd be concerned if we've never worked with Bass United, but Bass United has a history with the association. And I think we all agreed, even with the Sharp Consulting, they were on board as well. So this, I think, is an easy decision for the board. It's a no-brainer.
We feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, we feel comfortable. Any questions from the association or comments? Okay, those in favor of Bass fire alarm base system for $436,998.30.
Aye.
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 Okay. And being that this is required once a quarter within the agenda to have owner questions and comments, opening it up now. Are there any questions or comments? General points not covered. I think there's a Barbara Rollins question or comment.
Yes, thank you.
I didn't know this had to be on the agenda.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So I became aware that some of the, well, at least one chairman of a committee has used her own private credit card in order to make purchases for her committee and then just gets, reimbursed the cash. And it's very hard without needing receipts. I think that it should be a case where the association credit card is used and that they're required to submit the reasons why that money is being spent.
Well, so, I mean, that would obviously be the social committee. Because that's the only committee that has a budget. But anything spent from the social committee that goes against the social committee budget, yes, receipts are required for reimbursement. First Service does not cut checks without having proper receipts and documentation to go along with the check request. Anything that's paid back through petty cash, which we only keep a max of $500 in cash at any one time, yes, is required to have receipts for reimbursement. There's no just somebody coming into the office saying, I spent $50 on this, and we give them a $50 bill. That's not the way it works.
Okay, but why are they allowed to use their own private credit card for purchasing things for the association?
It's
for the committee.
Yes, correct. It would be like me if I bought something for the association on my own private credit card, because the credit card we have for the association has such a small limit that I would submit for a check request for reimbursement.
And Barbara, this does go against the budget that was approved the prior year for the current budget year of dollars allocated. So it does go against their budget with receipts required.
Yeah, but what she doesn't understand is the social committee is not allowed to have a credit card from that account.
Yeah, and that's a good point. There's a comment from the association, an association member noting that no committee is allowed to have any credit cards on behalf of the association.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for asking the question.
Any other questions or comments?
I do have a questions.
Yes, who's this?
This is Malik Baydun.
Yep.
Hey, Nick.
Yes. First of all, I have a couple of questions. The litigation that
Can't talk about
Heskey said it was settled, the lawsuit, which is untrue, right?
first of all, the lawsuit was, there was a trial, 6 days trial, and it was a jury trial, and it was in favor of Playa del Sol and Beidun Construction. For some reason, this board has declined to tell the truth exactly what happened.
So.
First of all, in February of this year, don't interrupt
If I
me.
could ask you.
Don't interrupt me. Do not interrupt me.
So.
Do not interrupt me. Do not interrupt me. Do not interrupt me. I have the right to speak. I have.
Thank you.
Litigation.
This is active litigation, still occurring.
Can't talk about it.
And upon.
Listen, I will come down personally. It's not an active litigation. I'm just telling you. No, it's not active litigation. You have not sent out, listen, the case was verdict by jury.
Sorry, you can't. And, there is still active.
The jury found, no, it's not active. It's done.
No,
It's done.
Not done.
No, from our legal counsel, it is not done. There is legal, activity on this, and we cannot speak to it still. Sorry.
What is the legal activity?
I feel free to connect with legal counsel and.
No,
get
what
back.
is that? What is the legal activities?
Sorry, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
I make the
Yes,
motion.
I will second.
You're gonna let other people, I mean, it seems like you could just use the 3-minute timer on Mick and you can use.
This is a ridiculous. You guys are such a.
Well, I'd like.
Okay, wait, Brooke.
There was no legal. There was zero activity on from Playa del Sol, and you guys send the letter out because this is going to be a finance.
Okay. So let me comment real quick. It's not being litigated. There's currently been an appeal, and the association has filed for reimbursement of attorney's costs. That is
So
what
it is still
in
active.
right now. It is still active, so the board should not be making comments on this right now.
Well, he wants to be corrected, wants an apology.
Well, can't give it to him right now.
You're not getting the one anyway. Then you go to apologize to me. Well, it should be another open.
One more, Brooke, please come up. You have an open question or comment?
That's 3 for 3, Brooke.
9 minutes.
It's your lucky night.
Honestly, I think there have been other people who've spoken several times.
Joking.
Quite frankly, I think Todd's probably the most powerful board member not on the board because he suggested 1 dog and 25 pounds and got it through instantaneously. Okay, good evening. Thank you for doing the wheelchair thing, but I'll be frank. 2 years ago, we had a survey question on this, and nobody talked about, proving active use. And it just blows my mind as to why on earth, because I had this conversation with Donna, and I said, why on earth do we think it's okay to store 4 bicycles on the wall, but we now say, okay, well, you can do a wheelchair, but it has to be this or it has to be that. You have to prove active use. Nobody says to prove active use on these bicycles people have. And the other thing is following Donna Berger's lead, I sent multiple certified return receipt documents that have shown countless violations of people storing their car covers, people storing their maintenance supplies. We don't enforce the rule. So I just don't understand why we have this. As I say, I just don't understand why you'd say, hey, Mr. Bicycle Person, you can have 4 bicycles there. You don't have to prove active use. And now we're saying, Mr. Wheelchair Person, you have to prove it. Because I've been thinking about this for the last 3 years. And I don't know if there's people in the wheelchairs who want to be in the wheelchairs. But I know that when my father had to use it, he didn't want to use that wheelchair.
But that's active use.
Well, but there were times that he didn't need it for a couple of months. Then all of a sudden it springs up and he needs to use it. And you're saying, no, I'm serious about it.
That was a different board back then too.
No, but it's here right now, and you just said that you had to prove active use. So it's like, as I say, I just don't understand it. Why because I had this conversation with Don Berger, and I said, why do you want to allow people to have bicycles there? But you say to the wheelchair person, no, we're gonna make it more difficult to you.
Well, the bicycles were against the wall. That was the rule.
And my space has a wall.
Okay.
No, Alex, I'm sorry. Playa del Sol's the one who started this. You guys wrote a letter, you took a picture of the wheelchair. It's not like, like somebody.
In time, we are going.
And now you're saying that they have to prove active use, and I just don't understand. As I say, okay, time out. All I can say is I invite people to come to me and we'll sit down calmly with a cup of tea and just explain to me why it is that I have a wall. And you say, store 4 bicycles there, fine. Store your maintenance supplies there. If you're not prepared, you're fine. Because I walk with Scott. I literally walked with Scott when the whole active leak from my shower situation came that was never proven to work. And I sat there in my parking space with the big, beautiful wall. And I said, hey, you look 2 spaces over and the person is storing non-bicycle things there. And I have pictures every 3 months, and I've sent the certified pictures to the board, and you do nothing. As I say, come have a cup of tea with me and just explain what you have against wheelchairs and love of bicycles.
Thank you. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:50?
We got to set the date for the next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible before the next meeting that maybe the week before the meeting, we could have a workshop or a town hall and have it on record so owners will know tonight that there's a workshop? They do it in one of my other condos. At the end of the night, they pick a workshop or a town hall and they give the date of the next meeting. This way it gives owners a chance to know, it'll be in Billing Link for the whole month. So nobody complains that they only had 48-hour notice.
So what's the request?
The request is to, whatever date we pick for the meeting, the week before, have either workshop or a town hall so we can discuss these projects and then have the meeting.
And I would think a town hall.
And have it on
a town
record.
hall could be during the day as well. I don't think we need to.
Well, either way, this way owners have enough time to either attend the meeting or,
What's the next
or
meeting?
listen. You should have the town hall. We have many major projects going.
I'm going on a cruise, so.
When you go on I'm coming.
October 28th?
You're leaving the 28th?
No, can you do October 28th?
That's what's it worth? That's what I put down. That's the last week, 28th.
Okay, we're here, right?
28th.
Okay, we're here.
October 28th. And then we could plan for the town hall.
Why can't we do that now?
Town hall for the network?
Because then what happens with the town hall is they give them 2 days notice. It's not enough time.
Hold on a second. I don't give a fuck who you guys are.
Yes,
Hold on.
you do.
Everybody turn me off the phone, right? I don't give a shit. You don't want to come on the fucking hallway. I am up here. Listen to me. Listen to me. You're listening to me. Okay? It was a fucking litigation. You guys are. I thought you were. You have to.